Chapter 24. On the second day of work, Fong Qing specially found an excuse to go to Chu Xiang's office a few times. She found that she was glowing like a delicate rose. The more she looked at her, the more she looked like she had been nourished. Her mind was filled with her daughter's fair-skinned face. Handsome boys flashed through her mind one after another, and she felt that it was strange. However, Chu Xiang seemed to be very happy. At least, she was much happier than when she was with Yi Chen. She hesitated and did not ask. After all, it was her daughter's private matter. She should have some private space at this age. Fong Qing only complained to Chu Dongqi behind his back. This boy was quite good at coaxing Chu Xiang. She just did not know what his character was like. She really wanted to find a chance to meet him. Chu Xiang had won a project on her own, and her prestige in the company had increased. Not long after she signed the contract with the bidder, the government announced the latest policy. This project immediately became a super big project that the country and foreign investors would invest in. The profits had at least tripled. As soon as this news came out, everyone in the Dongfang group changed their opinion of Chu Xiang. Back then, when Fong Qing appointed Chu Xiang as the project manager, everyone thought that she was letting Chu Xiang accompany her to practice. Now that they thought about how serious Chu Xiang was in preparing for the project, no matter how they thought about it, they felt that Chu Xiang was aiming for success from the beginning. However, she really succeeded. This was unbelievable. A rich young lady who had only been in contact with the company for a few months had done such a beautiful job. She was definitely a business genius. The employees of Chu Xiang's project team had all been asked about Chu Xiang. These employees were naturally elites to be chosen by Chu Xiang. When they were faced with questions, their answers were that Chu Xiang was a talent. When they first formed the project, Chu Xiang would still ask them questions that she did not understand. By the time the bidding was over, they had nothing to teach Chu Xiang. Chu Xiang's learning ability could be said to be abnormal. It was not something that ordinary people could compare with. Chu Dongqi returned from overseas and went to the club with the company's top management to celebrate Chu Xiang's return. They even invited Xiao Han, the best collaborator. Chu Dongqi raised his glass to toast Xiao Han. He smiled and said, "This project is all thanks to President Zhao's help. You have taught Chu Xiang a lot. Without President Zhao's support, Chu Xiang would not have achieved such results. Let me propose a toast to Mr. Xiao. I hope that we can continue to cooperate in the future and become the closest of partners." Xiao Han immediately stood up, bent over slightly and clinked glasses with Chu Xiang. He said humbly, "Chairman Chu is too polite. It's because Chu Xiang's business talent is very high and her ability is outstanding that she was able to win this project. I believe that even without my participation, Chu Xiang will succeed. She is the best person I have ever met." Chu Dongqi felt strange. Everyone was in charge of the company. It was just a drink. Why did Xiao Han stand up? This posture was completely the posture of a junior. Did Xiao Han respect him so much? Moreover, Xiao Han was too polite. Such a business genius praised Chu Xiang without reservation. It seemed that he really appreciated Chu Xiang. Chu Dongqi held this party for Chu Xiang tonight. Xiao Han gave him face, so he was very happy. He clinked glasses with Xiao Han and drank. How could the others not notice that the two big bosses were praising Chu Xiang? For a time the table was lively. Everyone could find Chu Xiang's merits to praise. Chu Xiang smiled at everyone in a neither servile nor overbearing manner. Occasionally, she would look at Xiao Han and exchange signals that only the two of them could understand. After a few glasses, Chu Dongqi was gratified and said, "I'm old. I'm really happy to see my daughter's achievements today. In the future, Fong Qing's and my business will be handed over to Chu Xiang. Everyone here is her uncles. You must help me guide her and teach her more. I also want her to take over as soon as possible so that she can enjoy her retirement leisurely. Chairman Chu is still young. Why are you thinking about retirement?" "Yes, Chairman Chu. You and Chairman Fong are our guiding lights. We still want to work hard with you." Chu Dongqi smiled and waved his hand. Young people work hard. But of course we have to wait until Chu Xiong has enough ability to take over. We have to give young people more opportunities to grow. This time Chu Xiong did very well. I've decided to appoint her as the project manager. What do you think? Chu Xiong had been Feng Qing's assistant before. Although she was in charge of the project, she was not given a suitable position because she could not convince the public. The employees of the project team felt that it was strange to call her assistant Chu in the project, so they all called her Sister Chu. It was not until she had made some achievements that Chu Dongqi brought up this matter. Of course, no one had any objections. Chu Xiong had already proven her strength. It was the most suitable for her to be the project manager. Not only could she coordinate all the projects in the company, but she could also expand her connections and bring greater benefits to the company. They already had a sense of trust in Chu Xiong. They believed that she would definitely be able to succeed in this position. Xiao Han took the lead to toast Chu Xiong. Manager Chu's future is limitless. I hope that we can continue to cooperate perfectly. Chu Xiong smiled slightly. When she clinked glasses with him, she also touched his fingertips. I still have a lot to learn from CEO Xiao. I hope that CEO Xiao will not be stingy with your guidance in the future. Everyone raised their glasses and drank the wine together. After that, Xiao Han had a smile on his face. He was the happiest person when Chu Xiong was promoted to manager. When Chu Xiong could take over the Dongfang group, he would no longer have to sleep alone. There were accommodation rooms in the club. Special assistant Liang had already booked them. After everyone was a little drunk, they played for a while and returned to their rooms at 1 o'clock in the morning. Xiao Han sneaked into Chu Xiong's room when no one was paying attention. Chu Xiong pressed him against the door and asked in his arms, "Xiao Xiao, are you here to teach me self-defense again?" Xiao Han slowly untied his tie and approached her. "I'm here to discuss the binding technique with you." Chu Xiong pulled off his tie and wrapped it around her hand. She bit his Adam's apple and chuckled. "Xiao Xiao is so eager to learn. I'll definitely teach you well." Knock knock knock. "Xiong Xiong, have a cup of hangover tea before you sleep." Xiao Han froze. Chu Xiong blinked and asked softly, "Do you want to see my mother?" Xiao Han looked down at himself. His shirt was wrinkled and completely disheveled. How could he see his future mother-in-law? If they were to meet again, it should be a visit. He couldn't look so strange. He shook his head, pointed to the bathroom next to him, and hid inside. Chu Xiong tidied her hair and opened the door. She smiled and said, "Mom, I'm not drunk. You can give it to Dad." Feng Qing stuffed the hangover tea into her hand and said, "Drink some. Otherwise you'll have a headache." Before she finished speaking, she saw that Chu Xiong's lipstick was a little smudged. She looked completely as if she had just had a passionate kiss. She widened her eyes in surprise and blurted out, "Xiong Xiong, you even brought that pretty boy with you when you came here?" Chu Xiong was stunned. "What gigolo?" In the bathroom, Xiao Han immediately sobered up. He leaned against the door and listened carefully to their conversation. Feng Qing made a slip of the tongue. She patted her mouth and said, "No, I thought you didn't want to date before? You like gigolos. I saw that you've been so happy recently. You've been so busy with work that you haven't been dating. So I guess that you really have a gigolo." She pointed to the room and whispered, "Is he in there? You came with so many uncles from the company today. Why did you bring someone?" Chu Xiong didn't expect to be so successful in brainwashing her mother. She had long forgotten about the gigolo. She glanced at the quiet bathroom and held back her laughter. "Yes, there is a gigolo. He's very handsome, charming, and likable." "Oh, then okay. I'll go back first." Feng Qing was a little confused. Her daughter was so magnanimous that she didn't know what to say. She thought for a moment and added, Be careful." "I know, Mom. Good night, Mom." Chu Xiong smiled as she watched her leave. She had just closed the door when Xiao Han hugged her tightly. "Gigolo. Xiao Han bit her ear as if to punish her. Chu Xiang held the hangover tea in her mouth and turned to feed him. She whispered on his lips, "What? Are you jealous?" Xiao Han narrowed his eyes and asked dangerously, "Who's the gigolo? You have someone else." Chu Xiang touched his handsome face and chuckled. She pointed out, "You're very fair. You're indeed the gigolo in my heart. You've mesmerized me." The word "in your heart" successfully made Xiao Han happy. He picked her up by the waist and walked into the bedroom. "We haven't finished discussing the binding technique just now. Manager Chu seems to have a lot of experience in binding. Can you teach me?" "Sure, I promise you won't be able to break free no matter how hard you struggle. Then don't destroy me too much. I still have to meet with the directors tomorrow morning." "President Xiao, you've learned how to joke. But I like to destroy flowers the most. If you can't, I can look at other gigolos." "You can try." Xiao Han kicked the bedroom door and put Chu Xiang on the bed. The room was filled with laughter from time to time. Feng Qing and Chu Dongqi, who lived next door, were still worried about their daughter's gigolo. Early in the morning, Feng Qing and Chu Dongqi took turns finding excuses to go out and see who would come out of the room next door. When it was almost 7 o'clock, the waiter delivered 2 sets of clothes. Feng Qing pretended to take a casual glance at the door. She left the door ajar and went back into the room to whisper to Chu Dongqi, "The men's clothes are a suit. The whole set is more expensive than yours. Seems that Xiang really likes him." Chu Dongqi was puzzled. Who would wear such a suit? "Did you make a mistake?" "That's true. But Xiang said that he's a gigolo. He's quite handsome and charming. He's very likable. Isn't that what's popular now?" "A cute dog? What dog?" At this moment, Chu Xiang's door opened. Xiao Han walked out and talked to Chu Xiang. Feng Qing and Chu Dongqi hurried to the door. They wanted to take a peek, but they were dumbfounded. "President Xiao." Chu Dongqi opened the door in surprise and bumped into Xiao Han. Xiao Han was stunned for a moment, but he quickly reacted and greeted them calmly. "Uncle, Auntie, good morning." Chu Dongqi and Feng Qing looked at each other. They couldn't understand this change. How did the gigolo become Xiao Han? They looked at Chu Xiang. Chu Xiang held Xiao Han's arm and smiled. "Since we bumped into each other, why don't we have breakfast together?" Chu Dongqi said, "Let's change." He closed the door and asked Feng Qing, "Is this your gigolo?" Feng Qing was confused. Could this be a wolf dog? Chapter 25. Since Xiao Han was caught cheating at the door, he unlocked a new position of love. Every time he went to Dongfang to have dinner with Chu Xiang, he tried his best to take Chu Xiang out for a date. However, Chu Xiang was a real workaholic. Mr. Xiao had been working hard, but he had never succeeded. He turned to help Manager Chu to improve his strength and achievements. Legendary things always spread from 1 to 10, and 10 to 100. Chu Xiang became famous after one battle. Everyone in the business circle knew her. Many people knew that the Chu family was not interested in this project at first. It was purely because Yi Chen angered Chu Xiang, and Chu Xiang said that she would take away the project of the Yi family. That was why they participated in the bidding. Although the big shots knew that the Chu family and the Xiao family must have seen the benefits behind the project, there was still a legendary blessing in this matter. They had been eating this project for 3 years. A group of companies was very envious of the Chu family and the Xiao family. When they mentioned the Yi family, they naturally sympathized with them and ridiculed them. The Yi family lost its business partner, the Chu family, and its vitality was greatly damaged. If they could take this project, they could go to a higher level and catch up with the Chu family. However, because of the trouble caused by their son, the Chu family intercepted the project and directly became the laughingstock of the business circle. If Chu Xiang's bid could be called a legendary case, then the Yi family's defeat would definitely be listed as a classic failure case. In the future, when teachers of relevant majors taught students in classes, they would mention Chu Xiang's beautiful battle, and at the same time, they would mention the failure of the Yi family. Yi Zhenhong and Sun Jie were now unwilling to participate in social activities. It was too embarrassing to be slapped in the face by a junior. Yi Chen had completely become the representative of a rich man's son. He ate, drank, and played. He didn't do his job and only pretended to be cool. He had been in the company for so long, but he didn't understand anything. He couldn't even deal with his personal feelings. He also caused trouble for the family and couldn't clean up the mess. Whoever got involved with this kind of prodigal son would be unlucky. The Zhang family, who originally wanted to marry the Yi family, had already backed out. The Yi family could only settle for the second best and contacted a new rich family from another place. The other party was full of potential and needed the Yi family's local strength to gain a firm foothold and develop quickly. The Yi clan also wanted to rely on the other party's spirit to help their own clan recover. Both sides hit it off immediately, which allowed Yi Chen's marriage alliance to continue. However, Yi Chen was extremely conflicted. When he went to meet the woman, he didn't look happy. Yi Zhenhong specially warned him that if he screwed up this matter, he would tell him to get out of Ye's house. He hadn't had the chance to prove himself, so he wasn't willing to leave just like that. He could only obediently go to the blind date, but he had a sour face the entire time. He had never been nice to people he didn't like. Bai Shuwei found out about this from a WeChat group. In the past, she was added to the group because of Chu Xiang and Yi Chen. Later on, she kept quiet and no one thought of kicking her out, so she used this group as a source of information. When she found out that Yi Chen was going on a blind date, she really panicked. This was different from Chu Xiang. This kind of blind date, which was aimed directly at marriage, was likely to be a marriage without considering feelings. Then what was the point of her torment for so long? If she lacked a mistress, any of the rich second generations she knew would do. Why would she still need to cling on to Yi Chen? Bai Shuwei couldn't sit still. At Yi Chen's blind date, she deliberately asked a girl whose family background was much worse than the Chu clans, but who used to hang out with them, to borrow money from that girl. Their seats weren't far from Yi Chen's, so Yi Chen heard all the girls' mocking words about Bai Shuwei. Don't you think you deserve it? What good will come of being a mistress? You even snatched Chu Xiang's fiancé. You've been living off Chu Xiang for so many years. You're really shameless. As for the money, I won't lend it to you. Why don't you go to your gold sponsor Yi? I heard that you didn't get a single cent from him. How pitiful. Do you want me to introduce you to a generous sponsor? Bai Shuwei choked and said, You don't know the inside story at all. What right do you have to treat me this way? I know I've let Chu Xiang down, but I really like Yi Chen. I don't need a sponsor. Hey, who are you showing your grievances to? Your man isn't here. Yi Chen was furious when he heard this. He had been suppressing his anger and had nowhere to vent it. Back then, he was the one who took the initiative to pursue Bai Shuwei. Now this girl was insulting Bai Shuwei. Wasn't she insulting him? Moreover, she was mocking him for being stingy and not giving Bai Shuwei money. Yi Chen exploded on the spot. He shielded Bai Shuwei behind him and scolded the girl fiercely. Bai Shuwei was also his childhood sweetheart and his first woman. How could he let others bully her like this? The girl was very angry, but she didn't dare to go against the Yi family. She splashed Bai Shuwei with coffee and turned around to leave. Yi Chen pulled Bai Shuwei aside and asked if she was scolded. The girl who had been watching from the side for a long time was unhappy and said, If you want to hire a nanny after marriage, I don't have any objections. But isn't it inappropriate for you to be so brazen now? Where are you putting me? These words poked Yi Chen's lung. She didn't have any objections after marriage. Wasn't that the same as his parents? Did this woman also want to hire a gigolo after marriage? Yi Chen said angrily, We're just meeting. It's not a big deal, right? You're meddling too much. The girl was so angry that she laughed. Fine, I'm being nosy. Do you really think I'm interested in you? If you dare to marry your nanny, I'll still respect you as a man. The girl picked up her bag and left. Although her family was a nouveau riche, they could cooperate with other families. It didn't have to be the Yi family. They weren't afraid of a declining business like the Yi family, so they naturally didn't have to tolerate it. Bai Shui didn't care about her sorry state and hurriedly comforted Yi Chen. "Chen, don't be angry. Was that your girlfriend just now? I'm sorry I caused trouble for you again. I'll help you explain it to her. Don't worry about her." "What girlfriend? My mother arranged it for me. Let's go. I'll take you to buy some clothes." Yi Chen heaved a sigh of relief deep down. He didn't want to go on blind dates. Now that it was ruined, it was exactly what he wanted. Therefore, he was much more amiable towards Bai Shui. After he didn't have any hope with Chu Xiang, he didn't have any hostility towards Bai Shui when he saw her. He even felt that they were in the same boat. Bai Shui always knew what Yi Chen liked about her. She went shopping and had a meal with Yi Chen. She gently comforted Yi Chen's irritable heart. In the end, she successfully got Yi Chen drunk and lured him to the hotel. This kind of thing happened again. Yi Chen was comforted by her. He had to face pressure to go home or go to other places. Naturally, he got back together with her. Sun Jie almost exploded with anger when she found out that Bai Shui had ruined the blind date. This time, she didn't show any mercy and directly bribed someone to cheat Bai Ling. Bai Ling had lost all of her savings over the years and owed a huge debt to loan sharks. The debt collectors had splashed paint on her door and even threatened Bai Ling and Bai Shui. It was as if they wanted to force them out of this place. Feng Qing had asked someone to keep an eye on Bai Ling and her daughter a long time ago. Later, she forgot about it. When she heard the news, she was stunned. When she was chatting with Chu Xiang, she casually said, "I thought they wanted to climb up the social ladder. I didn't expect their lives to be like this." Chu Xiang said thoughtfully, "Bai Ling and Bai Shui don't look like such stupid people. I don't think it's that simple." Feng Qing couldn't be bothered to pay attention to her. "Who cares about them? I've already asked someone to stop watching them. They can do whatever they want." Chu Xiang agreed and secretly hired a private detective to investigate. She heard from Enlon that Yi Chen's blind date had been ruined by Bai Shui by accident. This made the Yi family another joke. What a coincidence that something happened to Bai Ling at this time. She felt that there was a benefit in the modern world. If someone broke the law, they could be punished by force. It was unlike the world of the devil cultivators, where the strong were respected. However, to deal with people like Sun Jie, ordinary people wouldn't do. There were hidden rules everywhere. She happened to be in the same position as Sun Jie. It was Sun Jie's bad luck to meet someone like her who was so vengeful. The private detective quickly collected the relevant evidence. Chu Xiang suppressed it and didn't make a move. She and Xiao Han set their next goal, which was to take over the Yi Group. The two of them gradually learned about the Yi Group's situation and secretly planned and prepared. They didn't leak any information. When the Yi Group was at the critical moment to discuss cooperation with others, Chu Xiang released the news to Yi Chen and Bai Shui, letting them know that Sun Jie had harmed Bai Ling and misled them. Sun Jie had prepared more powerful means and informed the entertainment reporters. The Yi family was in an uproar all of a sudden. Sun Jie pointed at Bai Shui's nose and scolded, slapped Yi Chen's face, and Yi Chen pulling Bai Shui out of the house were all photographed. They immediately made the headlines of the major news with a shocking title. The heir of the Yi Group insisted on true love and was expelled by the family. Where should the Yi Group go? The stock price of the Yi Group was affected. Chu Xiang and Xiao Han took advantage of this opportunity and began to attack the Yi Group with all their strength. They fired the first shot of the commercial war and took the lead. At this time, how could any company be stupid enough to marry the Yi Group? Even the partners of the Yi Group began to consider terminating the cooperation. After all, it was not worth the loss to fight against the Xiao Group and the Dongfang Group for the sake of the Yi Group. Yi Chen admitted his mistake and entered the company. He began to work hard to help Yi Zhenhong. There was a reason why so many people liked him before. He made rapid progress when he was serious. Yi Zhenhong also cultivated him vigorously, hoping that he could grow up as soon as possible. However, not many people in the company liked him. They all hated him for making the company like this. Not long after, the news of Bai Shui's pregnancy was accidentally leaked out by the clinic and was widely reported again. Yi Chen was beginning to wake up and start to feel responsible. At this time, he found out that he had a child. Although he was at a loss, he still decided to marry Bai Shui and give the child a complete family. Perhaps it was the mockery of his true love by the outside world, or the derogatory words of nanny by many people, or the pressure his parents put on him, or even the self-confidence he lost with Chu Xiong. In the end, all these stimulated the rebellious nature in Yi Chen's bones. The more people looked down on him and Bai Shui, the more he wanted to live a happy life for everyone to see. The child was an opportunity. It gave him endless courage to tell his family that he must marry Bai Shui. At night, Xiao Han hugged Chu Xiong from behind and asked, "Why do you care so much about Yi Chen?" Chu Xiong rubbed his face and said with a smile, "Are you a vinegar jar? Do you want to be jealous of old times? I just suddenly realized that Yi Chen has a smart side. During this period of time, he has done a good job in the Yi group. However, he was emotional and fell into Bai Shui's trap. Of course, I have to seize every opportunity to attack him and not give him room to grow. Do you know? When I asked the private investigator to keep an eye on the Yi family, I found a secret. This secret is enough to shake the Yi family." Chapter 26. Yi Chen's persistence worked. Yi Zhenhong scolded Yi Chen, said that he would not recognize him as his son, and drove him out of the villa. Sun Jie couldn't control it. She simply stopped all his cards and wanted to force him to go home. Yi Chen was very determined. He moved into his apartment with Bai Shui and got the marriage certificate quietly. Bai Shui was very happy. Although there was no wedding and no elder recognition, she was now the real young lady of the Yi family. What was the use of Yi Zhenhong and Sun Jie not recognizing it? The law recognized it. Even if she divorced now, the Yi family would give her a lot of property. What's more, she had the grandson of the Yi family in her belly. She was very confident that when the child was born, she would be able to enter the Yi family step by step. The marriage certificate was so reassuring. Bai Shui relaxed completely and was happy every time. Yi Chen liked it and believed that he was not wrong. Chu Xiong deliberately waited for Bai Shui to get married. When Bai Shui got the marriage certificate and had a hard month with Yi Chen because they had no money, she exposed the secret of the Yi family. Yi Zhenhong's illegitimate son was 18 years old. Xiao Han couldn't help sighing when he saw the news. "You are really bad." Chu Xiong curled her lips into a smile. "Who asked them to make me unhappy? In the past, I was a princess in the ivory tower and couldn't do anything. Now they can only pray for themselves." The Yi family was on the cover of major magazines. Suddenly, the Yi family had a legal heir. Would Yi Zhenhong pass the Yi family to Yi Chen? Yi Chen had been driven out of the house. Was Yi Zhenhong clearing the obstacles for his son? Yi Chen was shocked. He rushed back to the Yi family to ask. He happened to see Sun Jie hit Yi Zhenhong and finally fainted in the hospital. Yi Zhenhong's face was also scratched with 2 blood marks. He had never seen such a crazy mother or such a cold-blooded father. When Sun Jie was admitted to the hospital, Yi Zhenhong didn't even look at her. Sun Jie also cursed Yi Zhenhong in the hospital. His parents turning against each other was a huge blow to Yi Chen. Having a half-brother who was only 2 years older than him caused him even more pain and embarrassment. At the same time, a huge sense of danger descended upon him. He found the younger brother and had a furious fight with him, sending him to the hospital. Chu Xiong decided to be a good citizen and anonymously called the police for her brother. The incident was big again. Yi Zhenhong went to the police station to get people out in person, but the mother of his illegitimate child took advantage of the situation. Since his son's matter had been made public, what else was he waiting for but to seize the family property? Only when the family is in harmony can everything prosper. When the family is in chaos, It is the beginning of squandering. Chu Xiong added fuel to the fire one after another. At the same time, she continued to absorb Yi Group's shares and joined forces with Xiao Han to snatch Yi Group's projects one after another. Yi Zhenhong was in a terrible state. The company's shareholders were blaming him, and his family was in a mess. He was rational enough not to acknowledge the illegitimate child, but who could ignore such a big person? Even the Yi Group's shareholders had their own ideas. The continuous sniping battles had greatly damaged Yi Group's vitality. Xiao Han had contributed the most. He was more attentive than Chu Dongqi and Feng Qing. The two elders wanted to vent their anger for their daughter, but they couldn't find a chance. They often scolded him behind his back as "stinky boy." Although Yi Chen worked hard, he couldn't keep up with the company's business war at all. The Yi family had been disbanded, and the fight between Sun Jie and his mistress had caused him a lot of trouble. Chu Xiong sent the evidence of Sun Jie's harming of Bai Ling to Yi Zhenhong's mistress. The mistress was also ruthless. She directly bribed all the major media to report the incident together. Mrs. Ye's crimes were known to all. Although it didn't constitute a big crime, the Yi family's shares fell again. Yi Zhenhong was furious, but he was alone and helpless. He was beaten without any power to fight back. In less than a year, Yi Group fell apart under the sniping of Chu Xiong and Xiao Han. Chu Xiong had already owned most of Yi Group's shares. She successfully acquired Yi Group and merged it into a branch of the Dongfang Group. Since then, Yi Group had disappeared from the business world. Chu Xiong became famous again. The business world called her the iron-blooded devil. Some people saw some clues from the process of the Yi family's decline. They guessed that Chu Xiong had intervened in a lot of things. While lamenting her ruthless means, they taught this commercial sniping as a textbook case to their children. Chu Xiong's growth in the past year was amazing. Everyone who had been in contact with her could feel the terrible control in her bones. She could strategize everything. She was talking and laughing, but no one could see what she was thinking. Even the old foxes in the business world didn't dare to look down on her, for fear that they would be cheated by her in the next second. Chu Xiong was now as famous as Xiao Han in the business world. She had become a regular on the cover of magazines. The Yi family went bankrupt and lost everything. Yi Zhenhong and Sun Jie divorced, but his mistress and illegitimate child ran away with his money. Yi Chen's child was not saved. When Bai Shui divorced him, she told him that she had deliberately miscarried because the Yi family had been declining for a long time. She didn't want to give birth to a child for him. Yi Chen then knew why Bai Shui bought jewelry for Bai Ling whenever she had the chance. Sometimes she even gave Bai Ling money as filial piety. It turned out that it was all to make more money. He couldn't believe it. He had decided to be a responsible father and husband, but Bai Shui gave him a head-on blow. When Yi Chen questioned Bai Shui showed her true colors for the first time. She sneered. "Do you think I really like you? You're arrogant and pretentious. You can't even see what you want. But if you weren't so emotional, I wouldn't have been able to take advantage of your shortcomings to make you marry me. But what are you now? You're worse than me. If I want to marry a poor man, why should I choose you?" Yi Chen couldn't accept this result. "You've been acting for so many years. You've been doing it for my money all this time. Why else do you think? Do you think someone as stupid as Chu Xiong really like you? Oh, she's not stupid anymore. She even made the Yi family go bankrupt." Bai Shui gnashed her teeth at the mention of Chu Xiong. She glared at Yi Chen and said, "You'd better agree to the divorce. Otherwise, I'll apply for separation and divorce you all the same. Since I've coaxed you for so many years, don't pester me anymore." Yi Chen vaguely remembered that he had asked Chu Xiong not to pester him for Bai Shui. Later, he had asked Bai Shui not to pester him for the sake of getting Chu Xiong back. Now that he was the one being treated like this, he finally understood how terrible it was. He thought that his parents, who had a strong relationship with him, had turned against each other. He thought that Chu Xiang, who had loved him for more than 10 years, had ruined his company. He thought that the infatuated Bai Shuawei was doing it for his money. He thought that he was really capable, but he had achieved nothing. Yi Chen's entire world had collapsed. It was as if everything was fake. Everything was different from what he knew. He divorced Bai Shuawei and was unable to recover from the setback. He regretted it countless times when he dreamed about it. If he hadn't cheated on Bai Shuawei and treated Chu Xiang wholeheartedly, would he have been able to live a happy life? The life he wanted the most was ruined by him. After leaving Chu Xiang, he had turned his life into a joke. After Bai Shuawei left Yi Chen, she wanted to find another rich second-generation heir in the circle. However, she wasn't a stunning beauty. Everyone knew that Chu Xiang hated her. Who would want to mess with Chu Xiang for no reason? The consequences of messing with Chu Xiang were obvious. Bai Shuawei wanted to go to another city to develop her career. When she mentioned it to Bai Ling, she was shocked to find that Bai Ling had lost all the money she had given her. Although Sun Jie had stopped, Bai Ling was already addicted to it. The money that Bai Shuawei had worked so hard to transfer out was lost completely. Bai Ling still owed a lot. Bai Shuawei didn't go to Li Sheng Group for an internship because she wanted to take care of her pregnancy. Now, she didn't even have the chance to go to a big company. She had to repeat the year after taking a break from school. She was still hated by everyone in school. No rich second-generation heirs in the circle cared about her. Her future was dark. She had to work in a bar to pay back her debts. Bai Ling was strictly watched by her. She wasn't allowed to touch money. She worked part-time for others. Bai Ling, on the other hand, hung around bars and nightclubs. She became a vulgar social butterfly. Bai Ling couldn't help but cry. She couldn't help but complain. I lived in a big villa in the Chu family. I didn't have to do any work. I enjoyed life just like Madam. You just had to snatch Yi Chen away. Now that you're in this state, you're forcing me to work. Why did I give birth to you in the first place? I should have strangled you to death back then. Bai Shuawei sneered. You're blaming me? Didn't you know that Yi Chen was very happy when he broke off the engagement because of me? Why didn't you say these things back then? Let me tell you, I'm in this state because of you. If you hadn't lost all the money, I would be living a very good life. If you continue to be so long-winded, don't blame me for disowning you. Bai Shuawei was often taken advantage of by balding men with big bellies. She was very angry and vented her anger on Bai Ling when she got home. Bai Ling also blamed her in her heart. The two of them blamed each other and became more and more narrow-minded and gloomy. Bai Shuawei saw on TV that Chu Xiang had been invited to an interview by a business program. Chu Xiang was wearing a red dress. Her black hair hung in front of her chest. It was a very simple outfit, but she didn't have the aura of a rich young lady or a pure student. She exuded the charm of a queen in the workplace. She saw Chu Xiang talking to the host with a smile. She was mature, confident, elegant, and generous. When the host mentioned Chu Xiang and Xiao Han's relationship, the screen even gave Xiao Han a shot. He sat below the stage and looked at Chu Xiang. He was as cold as ever, but everyone could see the gentleness in his eyes. Such a legendary figure gave all his gentleness to Chu Xiang. Which woman wouldn't want such a man? Bai Shuawei was so jealous that her heart ached. She always remembered that time when Chu Xiang scored 80 points and she scored 100 points, but Chu Xiang still received beautiful gifts. Bai Ling didn't praise her at all. She was better than Chu Xiang. She had played Chu Xiang for so many years. She enjoyed the spoils of war proudly. Why did everything suddenly change? Now Chu Xiang was more superior than before, while she was at the bottom of society. Chu Xiang had the gentle and strong President Xiao to protect her. She could only be taken advantage of by those fat pigs. The more painful it was, the more unwilling it was. The more unwilling it was, the more painful it was. The pain of not being able to win over Chu Xiang would torment her for the rest of her life. She would never be able to walk out of the shadow of Chu Xiang. Chu Xiang didn't stop because she had taken over the Yi Group. She turned her attention to the overseas market and participated in the overseas project with Chu Dongqi. Xiao Han volunteered to accompany Chu Xiang on a business trip for Chu Dongqi. When they were abroad, Chu Dongqi and Feng Qing didn't compete with him. His presence by Chu Xiang's side increased day by day. Since he knew about Chu Xiang's words about love, he paid special attention to the issue of keeping it fresh. He could always come up with new tricks to make Chu Xiang happy. Therefore, he stayed by Chu Xiang's side and didn't give any opportunity to any gigolo to take advantage of him. Chu Dongqi and Feng Qing were numb to Xiao Han's frequent appearance. They found that their daughter learned things faster with Xiao Han. They didn't know how Xiao Han taught her. Anyway, all his experience and methods were taken away by Chu Xiang. Moreover, Xiao Han was more efficient when he accompanied Chu Xiang to discuss projects. The two of them had cooperated well, and their achievements were getting better and better. The Xiao group didn't delay anything because of his love affairs. On the contrary, because Chu Xiang was a workaholic, he worked overtime more and the Xiao group developed faster. Everyone was very optimistic about their couple. It was predicted that in the future, when they worked together, they would definitely push the two companies to the top. Chu Dongqi and Feng Qing retired at the same time when Chu Xiang graduated from university and handed the Dongfeng group to Chu Xiang. Chu Xiang didn't lose the title of the female devil of the business world. She was a legend in the business world for the rest of her life. President Xiao proposed several times. Finally, when Chu Xiang was 35 years old, he succeeded in proposing and abducted her to a private group for a week. Chu Dongqi and Feng Qing, who were asked to take care of the company, whispered behind their backs. This was a scheming wolf dog who took away their white rabbit. When they proposed to cooperate with the Xiao group, they had invited the wolf into the house. Xiao Han was in a good mood with the marriage certificate. In the future, he was no longer afraid of the white face stealing his wife. He had a certificate. When he held Chu Xiang and looked at the sea, he asked her, "I've proposed so many times. Why did you agree this time?" Chu Xiang closed her eyes and leaned in his arms to feel the sea breeze. She smiled and said, "Because you're charming. You're still so interesting after 15 years. Isn't it good to be with you? Anyway, a few decades will pass in the blink of an eye." Xiao Han's heart was alarmed. What if he became bored after 2 years? Would she go back on her word? In the next few decades, he would keep it fresh so that this woman wouldn't look at others for the rest of her life. Chu Xiang thought that she would leave in a few decades. She opened her eyes and said, "We've had enough fun. Let's go back in the afternoon. There's a new cooperation to discuss." Xiao Han suddenly felt that he didn't like work so much. He had a fear of being dominated by work for the rest of his life. His wife loved work too much. How could he transfer his wife's passion to him? President Xiao had been thinking about this problem his entire life. Fortunately, he occupied half of the day and night. In this half, he could enjoy the unique passion of the queen. In fact, he was very happy. Chapter 27. When Chu Xiang transmigrated to the New World, the original owner swallowed a bottle of sleeping pills to commit suicide. Although she didn't wake up in the hospital this time, she was still sent to the hospital after waking up. A lawyer stood in front of Chu Xiang's bed and handed her a divorce agreement. He said coldly, "Sister Chu, I am the lawyer representing Mr. Lin. He hopes that you will sign this agreement and stop pestering him. Otherwise, it won't be good for you. Please don't do anything excessive and make unnecessary news." Old Madam Lin is very dissatisfied with this matter. Chu Xiang's stomach was uncomfortable, so she was in a bad mood. She looked at him coldly and said, "I don't need you to teach me how to do things. Get out." The lawyer didn't move. "Sister Chu, call the security to deal with the people in my ward." Chu Xiang directly pressed the bell to call the nurse. She closed her eyes and concentrated on gathering spiritual energy. She didn't pay attention to the lawyer whose face changed. The lawyer was a respectable person. Of course, he couldn't wait for the security to chase him away. He put down the divorce agreement and took the initiative to leave. But before he left, he still said, "I hope Sister Chu will seriously consider it. If you really annoy Mr. Lin, Sister Chu won't be able to bear it." What Mr. Lin and old Madam Lin were no different from ants in Chu Xiong's consciousness. But now this body was hers. They made her uncomfortable. She still remembered it. The spiritual energy in this world was still thin. She couldn't cultivate. Of course, she couldn't use her cultivation method. She could only absorb a little spiritual energy to nourish her stomach and make herself feel better. Spiritual energy was still more effective than medicine. Soon, her brows relaxed. She was in the mood to understand the original owner's memory. The original owner was also called Chu Xiong. Her appearance was very beautiful, and she looked a little like Chu Xiong. This coincidence was purely because the soul was easier to fuse with, and it made Chu Xiong feel quite comfortable. The original owner was a top idol star. She was young and beautiful. She sang and danced and attracted countless fans. Although her acting skills were a bit bad, people could see that she was improving after filming a few TV series. She had a great future. When the original owner was at her peak, she couldn't resist the passionate pursuit of Lin Jiawei. They fell in love and got married quickly. As soon as the news of her marriage came out, the original host lost a large number of fans. All kinds of people suspected that she was a gold digger, that she was living up to the rich, and scolded her for failing to live up to everyone's expectations of her. Although the original owner was shocked, she knew that this was the consequence she had to bear. However, right after that, Lin Jiawei's grandmother, old Madam Lin, asked her to leave the entertainment industry. She thought that she was a mess in the big dye vat and was not presentable. The original owner tried her best to resist, but because she loved Lin Jiawei too much and Lin Jiawei was raised by her grandmother, she finally chose to compromise and quickly faded from everyone's sight. After all, she used to be a top celebrity. Even after she quit, the media still paid attention to her and she was often photographed and reported on. When she smiled, people would sell her smile to please the rich. When she was expressionless, she would be scolded by the rich for having no dignity. Just because an actress like her had married into a wealthy family, in the eyes of many people, she was a lowly wretch with no dignity. Many people's guesses turned out to be true, which made the original owner even more unhappy. Old Madame Rao's strict disdain, husband Rao's incessant urging, servant Rao's disapproval, etc. She endured all of this because of Lin Jiawei's love for her. But she never thought that after a year of marriage, Lin Jiawei's white moonlight would come back from abroad. The original owner finally knew that Lin Jiawei pursued her, married her, and doted on her because she looked 70% similar to his white moonlight. His true feelings were treated as a substitute. Lin Jiawei and his white moonlight rekindled their old feelings and immediately changed his attitude towards the original owner. It was like he wanted to completely erase this stain so that his true lover wouldn't be jealous. The original owner was an orphan and had no relatives. She was slightly depressed after staying in the Lin family for a year. She was even alienated from her friends because of old Madam Lin. Now that she didn't have Lin Jiawei's love, she had nothing left. She hated Lin Jiawei for lying to her and hated herself for foolishly abandoning herself. She could already foresee what was waiting for her. She couldn't accept this result and swallowed a large bottle of sleeping pills to commit suicide. Chu Xiong digested the memories while seriously nourishing her stomach with Reiki. The original owner felt that living in this world was too painful. She would rather lose all her memories and reincarnate. She didn't have any wishes, but she had a lot of regrets about the past. Chu Xianglai couldn't understand why she would commit suicide because of these entanglements of love. If it was her, she would definitely find someone who would pamper her. How dare he play with her like Lin Jiawei? Ha, kill him. Chu Xiong picked up the divorce agreement on the cabinet. This marriage must be divorced. How could a scumbag like that be worthy of being her husband? She quickly looked through the contents of the agreement. Before they got married, Old Madam Lin insisted on notarizing their assets. So scumbag Lin asked her to leave with nothing because he was afraid that his white moonlight would be unhappy. He wanted to prove that he was heartless towards the substitute. This was really even worse than the one she met in the previous world. But this was exactly what Chu Xiong wanted. If she wanted to break it off, she would do it cleanly. Would she lack money? She straightforwardly signed the divorce agreement and then lay down again to think about what she should do in this world. In her previous life, it was her first time seeing the modern world. She was not excited at all. When she just came into contact with business, she put all her passion into conquering the Zheng family. If it wasn't for Yi Chan and the others constantly harassing her, she wouldn't even be interested in dealing with them. But as for business, she had played enough. In this life, she didn't want to be a superwoman in the business world. She wanted to do something new. She casually flipped through the original owner's phone. When she saw the original owner's yearning for the entertainment industry, she suddenly had an idea. The original owner's memories of being a star were quite interesting. Then she would go and play as a star. Chu Xiong went online to search for her name. She didn't expect to find countless messages. They were all mocking the original owner for being abandoned as a substitute. Chu Xiong had seen many brainless devil cultivators. Their thoughts were strange and their actions were strange. They didn't even know how to follow the rules. Usually, they would quickly become cannon fodder. But she didn't expect the original owner to be so annoying. She didn't understand the original owner's identity as an idol. After searching for a while, she found out that idols couldn't fall in love. So when the original owner fell in love and got married in a flash and left the entertainment industry, it poked the lungs of all the fans. Not to mention, the original owner had a large number of anti-fans. This kind of Cinderella married into a rich family and was tortured by the rich family. Then, she found out that she was abandoned as a substitute. Many keyboard warriors were excited. They were even more excited than the fans who stepped on the original owner. Maybe the real passers-by didn't say anything. Chu Xiong only saw a few comments that pitted the original owner. It really could be said that the whole internet ridiculed her. Chu Xiong didn't feel anything. She found the original owner's concert video and watched it. Just as she was watching it, she heard some noise outside the door. The door of the ward was pushed open and many people with microphones and cameras squeezed in. Chu Xiong, you really went to the hospital. Did you commit suicide? How are you now? Chu Xiong, did you divorce Lin Jiawei? Did you threaten him with death and refuse to divorce? Entertainment filmed your husband Lin Jiawei and other women staying at Shishan Villa overnight. What do you think? Did you divorce because Lin Jiawei cheated? Is it because you didn't have a child after a year of marriage? The nurses and security guards tried to stop them and pull them out. But these reporters were too crazy. In order to make news, they were shameless. The microphones were almost pointed at Chu Xiong's face. Chu Xiong frowned and slapped away their microphones. She said unhappily, "What does it have to do with you?" Someone with sharp eyes saw the divorce agreement on the cabinet and reached out to take it. Everyone took photos. When the security guards grabbed the agreement, they had finished reading it. A reporter was shocked. Chu Xiong, you left the marriage with nothing. You and Lin Jiawei didn't get anything from this marriage. Chu Xiong saw this and leaned on the bed with a smile. How can it be? At least I know that Lin Jiawei's character is bad. Chu Xiong, Lin Jiawei reunited with his true love. Did he divorce you in order to marry her? Then you have to ask him. Chu Xiong, have you seen that woman? Do you think you're inferior to her? Chu Xiong was puzzled. Do you admire a woman who destroys other people's families? I don't think anyone in the world would think that they're inferior to her. Otherwise, wouldn't they be inferior to even 3? Then what do you think about being reduced to a substitute? It's just an experience of being cheated. Chu Xiong, are you watching your previous concert videos? Do you intend to make a comeback? Yes, as you can see, I didn't get a share of 100 billion yuan, so I still have to come back to work. I hope you won't be so rude when the time comes. Chu Xiang picked up her phone and continued watching the video. She said to the security guard, "Ask them to leave. I won't pursue this matter. Don't let anyone enter my ward again." The security guard and nurses chased all the reporters out. Since Chu Xiang didn't pursue the matter, they didn't ask the reporters to delete the photos. The reporters all acted as if they had won the lottery. As soon as they left, they immediately rushed back to the company. On the way, they wrote the content of the report and sent it to their boss for approval. In the afternoon, the news about Chu Xiang leaving the family with nothing and preparing to make a comeback was released. There were all kinds of things on the internet. However, because Chu Xiang didn't take the Lin family's money and even said those tough words in the ward, there were actually some netizens who sympathized with her and spoke up for her. Chu Xiang deserves to leave the family with nothing. She gave up her career and married into a rich family. She didn't think that she would be kicked out of the family, did she? She's just a substitute. She did the premarital property notarization and clearly didn't covet the Lin family's money. Does it have to be so ugly? Chapter 28. This level of entertainment news was at most Lin Jiawei's gossip, and of course it would not have any impact on the Lin group. But after all, the reputation was not good. Lin Jiawei quickly spent money to delete the news about the Lin family. Most people did not know the inside story, and naturally, they were still ridiculing Chu Xiang. Marrying into a rich family with a sugar daddy was like worshipping money, and in the end, having nothing was satisfying. Occasionally, there would be one or two comments for Chu Xiang, but they were all refuted and drowned in the vast number of comments. Lin Jiawei and his white moonlight, Mo Xinru, mentioned this during dinner. Mo Xinru was in a good mood when she saw Chu Xiang being ridiculed. She generously said, "Don't worry about her, just be strangers in the future." To them, Chu Xiang was just a funny outdated star. Mo Xinru felt that Chu Xiang was probably hiding in the hospital and crying now. But she, the main character, was back. Naturally, Chu Xiang did not need to exist. It would be best if she did not appear in front of her in the future. Just take it as Chu Xiang's bad luck. Who asked Chu Xiang to look like her? Chu Xiang had almost no fans, and no company to do public relations for her. Just like that, she was ridiculed on the hot search. If it was someone else, they would have already shut themselves up. But Chu Xiang did not look at Weibo at all. She was watching various performance videos of the original owner and humming along with the videos. When the nurse came to change her bandage, she could not help but change her view of her. Her heart was too strong, wasn't it? Looking at the scumbag's lawyer and the divorce agreement, she knew how disgusting the scumbag was. Chu Xiang could still sing happily. Maybe the suicide was just a misunderstanding. Second, Chu Xiang was discharged from the hospital and went directly to the hotel. This was the bad thing about marrying casually and not buying a house. After the divorce, she could not ask him to get out. She could only stay in the hotel and go to the Lin family to get her things back. Old Madam Lin had to take a nap from 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. During this time, no one was allowed to disturb her, or she would get angry. Chu Xiang specifically chose this time to break into the Lin family's house with 4 hired part-time workers and bodyguards. The servants of the Lin family wanted to stop her, but what was wrong with her taking her own things? The title of the former young madam was still useful. At least the servants did not dare to stop her. Chu Xiang stood in the middle of the master bedroom, instructing a few hourly workers to pack the luggage. Everything bought by the Lin family was thrown away, and everything bought by the host herself was taken away. She didn't expect to find so many things. It can be seen what kind of life the original owner lived in the Lin family. A rich wife actually bought so many things for herself. The master bedroom is below old Madam Lin's bedroom. The loud noise makes old Madam Lin restless and she wakes up from her sleep. Her long-term habit was suddenly broken, causing her to have a headache and feel uncomfortable all over. She frowned and opened the door. "What are you doing?" the maid serving her said nervously. "Old madam, young mistress came back to move her things. She's packing them downstairs." Chu Xiang. Does she not know what time it is? Old Madam Lin's face was full of displeasure. She gathered her pajamas and went downstairs. When she saw Chu Xiang, she scolded. "Chu Xiang, be quiet." Chu Xiang glanced at her and signaled the bodyguards to move the luggage out. She replied, "Old madam, move aside." "What did you call me? You have no upbringing." Old Madam Lin stared at her with her eyes wide open, her face ashen. "I can't compare to old madam's upbringing. You taught your grandson to cheat on you and only pamper those outside. As the saying goes, if the upper beam is not straight, the lower beam will be crooked. This generation of the Lin family is like this. Sooner or later it will be over." She walked in front of old Madam Lin and said lightly, "I've tolerated you for a long time. Do you think this is the old society? Marrying into the Lin family means I have to be tortured by an old witch like you. Do you think it's great that your grandson listens to your every word? Just wait and see. If you dare to touch a single hair on Mo Shinru's head, your grandson will cut ties with you. The grandson that you work so hard to raise is just a dog that Mo Shinru can order around. How do you feel?" "Chu Xiang you." Old Madam Lin pointed at Chu Xiang. She was so angry that she could not say a word. Chu Xiang swatted her finger away and glanced at her from the corner of her eyes. She put on her sunglasses and walked out. "I've brought everything. Let's go. I don't want to stay in this rotten and dirty place for a second longer." Old Madam Lin was so angry that she felt dizzy. The servants hurriedly helped her back to her room and called for the family doctor. They also reported to Lin Jiawei. Lin Jiawei asked about old Madame Rao's condition and was relieved to know that she was fine. After hanging up the phone, he frowned. Since Mo Shinru returned to the country, this was the first time he thought about his recently divorced wife. He saw Chu Xiang at an award ceremony. At that time he was attending as an investor and sat in the first row. Chu Xiang won the All-Round Idol of the Year award. She sang and danced on stage and radiated charm. What made him notice Chu Xiang was that her face was 70% similar to Mo Shinru's. He treated Chu Xiang as if he had found a treasure and passionately pursued Chu Xiang. He doted on Chu Xiang and soon broke through her defenses. He resisted the pressure from his family and married Chu Xiang. Chu Xiang was so touched that she took countless steps back for him. Chu Xiang suffered a lot in the Lin family when he proposed a divorce, but he did not sympathize with her. When a person loses herself, she blames others. He liked girls like Mo Shinru who were insistent and opinionated. A fake was after all a fake and could not be shown in public. But now he realized that Chu Xiang did not seem to be who he thought she was. Chu Xiang was pure and kind. She was a little sensitive and had low self-esteem. She was used to enduring and giving in. When she found out that their love was just a scam, she almost broke down. Within these 2 days, Chu Xiang drove away his lawyer, signed the divorce agreement and left with nothing. She mocked him and Mo Shinru in front of the reporters and deliberately angered Madame Lin. All these did not seem like something Chu Xiang would do. Did she commit suicide once and give up? Or did she want to use this to vent her dissatisfaction and make a comeback? 2 minutes later, Lin Jiawei realized that he had been thinking for so long. He sneered and threw Chu Xiang to the back of his mind. She probably just exposed her true nature. She was just a plaything. They would not have any interactions in the future. Madame Lin was so angry that she asked Lin Jiawei to think of a way to ban Chu Xiang. She could not do anything else. Chu Xiang was no longer the young mistress of the Lin family. She had moved away. How could she break the law and find fault with her? It was because she could not vent her anger that Madame Lin was even angrier and more sullen. Chu Xiang was enjoying champagne in the hotel. She checked the original owner's money and found that she only had about 2 million yuan left. The most important thing for her now was to settle down and find a way to make money. Chu Xiang found the original owner's agent and called her. She asked directly. Sister Chen, I plan to make a comeback. Do you have any jobs for me? Sister Chen said awkwardly. Chu Xiang, my temple can't accept a big Buddha like you. That person from the Lin family said that he did not want to use you. Sai, why are you so stupid? He is a big CEO. Even if you can coax him a little and get more money for breaking up, you won't lose anything, right? Or you can just ask for a big resource to start over. You have fallen out with Boss Lin so badly. In the end, you left with nothing and were even banned. What do you want? Sister Chen, you have to know that it is too difficult to bow down to that kind of cheap man. Chu Xiang thought for a while and asked, the entertainment industry is so big. Lin Jiawei can't control it all. Sister Chen, for the sake of our past relationship, can you give me some pointers? This big boss's sphere of influence. As an agent, I don't know much about it. Chu Xiang, I really can't help you. Sorry. Chu Xiang hooked her lips. It's okay. That's it. It was understandable that the original agent didn't want to get involved in this mess. But understanding was one thing. They could continue to be friends. The original owner even sent gifts to Sister Chen during the holidays. She was really kind. Chu Xiang deleted Sister Chen's contact information and thought for a while. The Lin family was one of the top 3 companies in S-City. She remembered that the son of the Zhou family in S-City seemed to have a conflict with Lin Jiawei. Lin Jiawei's face didn't look good when he mentioned Zhou Yi. And the Zhou family happened to have a Xingyao entertainment company, which was managed by Zhou Yi. No matter how powerful the Lin family was, they had little involvement in the entertainment industry. They were not as important as the Zhou family. If she went to Xingyao, the Lin family's hands wouldn't be able to reach there. Chu Xiang looked up information about Xingyao online and sent a very simple resume. It would be good if she could get in. If she couldn't, she could go to B City to develop. Did Lin Jiawei really think that he was the emperor and could suppress anyone? After sending her resume, Chu Xiang bought several business magazines to read. Then she checked the business development of this world. The entertainment industry was fun, but she had to have money to play happily. She was not used to saving more than 2 million yuan. She didn't want to lower her head when she met a scumbag in the future. She could only stand at a higher place than the scumbag. The personnel of Xingyao received Chu Xiang's resume and rubbed his eyes in disbelief. Chu Xiang used to be a top idol. Now she had fallen to the point of quietly sending her resume. But after looking at it several times, it was still Chu Xiang's resume. He immediately reported it to the supervisor. Chu Xiang's fame was there. Even if she was ridiculed by the whole internet, she would still be blacklisted. There was a risk to sign her. If she didn't sign, it might be a loss. Such a person should be decided by the top management. Zhou Yi happened to be in the company. When it was time to get off work, he called a few of the top management to have dinner together. Someone mentioned at the dinner table, "It turns out that the popular Chu Xiang sent us her resume today. She probably knows that Boss Lin has banned her and wants to try her luck at Xingyao." Zhou Yi raised his eyebrows slightly while holding a wine glass. Lin Jiawei. He banned his ex-wife. Yes, Boss Lin is too calculative. Not only did he force Chu Xiang out of the marriage with nothing, but he also banned her and didn't let anyone use her. No matter what, they were husband and wife. He tricked her into being a substitute and didn't give her any compensation. He even added insult to injury. How interesting. Zhou Yi shrugged and smiled casually. Who knows what's going on between husband and wife? Maybe they're flirting. That shouldn't be possible. Look, Boss Zhou. I still have the video of Chu Xiang's interview in the ward. The people below sent it to me. It hasn't been deleted yet. Zhou Yi took the phone and laughed when he saw Chu Xiang's arrogant look in the ward. Chu Xiang's character was bad. Mo Xinru was the third. No wonder Lin Jiawei was so scheming to ban her. Chu Xiang didn't get 100 billion yuan in assets after the divorce. Wasn't she mocking Lin Jiawei? How could Lin Jiawei have 100 billion yuan in assets for her to share? Zhou Yi put down the phone and took a sip of wine. When he thought of how Chu Xiong had insulted Lin Jiawei, he laughed. Chu Xiong is quite interesting. Why didn't I realize that she was so bold in the past? Get someone to meet her for a chat. No need. I'll go and see for myself. Chapter 29. When Chu Xiong received Zhou Ye's invitation, she was a little surprised. She didn't expect that her resume would be seen by the company's boss and it would become an interview. She agreed and walked into the bathroom to look at herself in the full-length mirror. She frowned slightly and was very dissatisfied. Women were like flowers sometimes. They were nourished by life and became beautiful. But when they were unhappy, they would wither no matter how many products they used. Her current body was in a withered state. The original owner was only 24 years old, but at first glance, she looked 10 years older. Looking carefully, her skin wasn't smooth or tight. She looked tired and her face was dark. Overall, it gave people a rough feeling. Although Chu Xiong could absorb a little spiritual energy to nourish her body, the spiritual energy in this world was too thin and the nourishment was very slow. These 2 short days were only enough for her to get rid of the side effects of the sleeping pills. She didn't even have time to beautify herself. Of course, she had to be beautiful in the entertainment industry. Even if others weren't beautiful, she still had to be beautiful. Chu Xiong added another beautifying project to her recent plan. She took out the original owner's cosmetics and carefully dressed herself up. She only stopped when she covered her tired face and smiled at the mirror. A woman would dress herself up for someone who liked her. Chu Xiong felt that women always dressed to make themselves happy. Anyway, she was a beauty lover. She would be in a good mood when she saw herself beautiful. Chu Xiong smoothed her black shoulder-length hair and picked out clothes that showed her good complexion. She dressed up and hummed a song as she went out for the appointment. The original owner had just committed suicide, and these 2 days were the time when the entertainment reporters were watching. As soon as Chu Xiong came out of the hotel, she was followed by 2 groups of reporters. She called a taxi and added a house and a car to her plan. She was reading business magazines on the way, and the covers of the magazines were also taken by the reporters. Zhou Yi arranged to meet her at a Western restaurant. When Chu Xiong arrived, Zhou Yi was already waiting there, playing games on his phone. Hearing her voice, he raised his head and smiled. "Sister Chu, we meet again." Chu Xiong smiled and shook his hand. "Director Zhou, sorry to keep you waiting. I also just arrived. It's a gentleman's duty to wait for a lady." Zhou Yi gestured to the waiter. "Let this lady order first. What does Sister Chu like to eat? The steak here is very good. It was just flown in from Australia this morning. You can try it." "Okay, then I'll have the steak recommended by Mr. Zhou, and a salad will do." Sister Chu is controlling her diet. "Of course. Now that you're ready to make a comeback, you have to take care of your body." Chu Xiong turned off the broadcast and handed it to Zhou Yi with a smile. She looked at his face for a second longer. There were countless handsome men and beautiful women in the entertainment industry. She had seen a lot of them in the past 2 days, but it was rare to see someone as good-looking as Zhou Yi. He wasn't very masculine, but he wasn't too feminine either. He just gave off the feeling of a playboy. Even the smile on his face had a hint of wickedness. Chu Xiong took a sip of lemon juice. She had no idea about Zhou Ye's character. The appearance was born from the heart. This was a carefree and unrestrained man who didn't care about anything. However, he was ruthless in his bones. If he really cared about something, he would do his best to win. This kind of personality was just right. He was very suitable to be her temporary boss, and he could also embarrass the Lin family. Chu Xiong's lips curled up. She was interested in chatting with him. After Zhou Yi finished ordering, he looked at Chu Xiong and asked her curiously, "Sister Chu, do you want to make a comeback to make money, or do you want to continue fighting with the Lin family? Or is there any other reason?" Chu Xiong fiddled with her earrings and said casually, "I just think that the entertainment industry is very fun. I'm so happy to have so many fans who like me. Moreover, I can act in all kinds of shows, dress up as different people, and appear on TV for everyone to see. Isn't that fun? Zhou Yi was a little surprised. Fun? He crossed his arms on the table and smiled. Sister Chu is also a very interesting person. Lin Jiawei is banning you now. Haven't you thought of doing something to fight back? Are you willing to just let it go? It's stupid to go head-to-head with others before I have the ability. It's never too late for a gentleman to take revenge. I'm very vengeful, but I know when to strike. Chu Xiang smiled. Why did Mr. Zhou come to meet me? Do you think I have commercial value? Or do you want to make Lin Jiawei uncomfortable? Both. Maybe I just think it's fun. But after meeting Sister Chu today, I'm looking forward to Sister Chu's future development. Maybe you will really give people a different surprise. Sister Chu, happy working with you. Zhou Yi reached out his hand again and shook Chu Xiang's hand. In just a few words they decided on the signing. Chu Xiang smiled. Happy working with you. Chu Xiang also felt that Zhou Yi was very interesting. Wasn't it a good thing to have such an unconventional boss in the entertainment industry? The reporters couldn't follow the restaurant and could only take photos from the opposite side of the road. However, because of the angle, they could only take photos of Chu Xiang eating with a man. The man's face couldn't be captured. After the meal, Zhou Yi and Chu Xiang directly left from the underground car park. The reporters didn't follow them and directly published the news. The trending topic was still Chu Xiang. They used a picture of Chu Xiang looking slightly haggard when she was discharged from the hospital, and a picture of Mo Xinru smiling sweetly and elegantly with light makeup. Was there a need to compare who would win? The key was that the picture had been spread widely. Most passers-by saw this comparison, and their first instinct was that Chu Xiang was much worse than Mo Xinru. The topic of all men don't choose Chu Xiang was quickly updated. Chu Xiang saw the news and couldn't help but laugh out loud. Zhou Yi looked at her in surprise. You can laugh even after being scolded by haters. What's so funny? Chu Xiang casually browsed through the scolding online and said with a smile, I just think it's interesting. I haven't officially made a comeback and joined the entertainment industry, but they're already paying attention to me. The haters are the true fans. They know more about my activities than the true fans. Think about it. I'm not doing anything here, but countless people are surrounding me and being attracted by me. How interesting is that? This is the first time I've heard of such a method. Sister Chu's thinking is very strange. You're probably not in the entertainment industry, but there are rumors about you in the entertainment industry. Zhou Yi smiled and drove the car into Xingyao's headquarters. In the future, the public relations department will take care of these things. They won't let the dirty water splash on you. Don't worry, the public relations department under me is very strong. Chu Xiang shrugged. It's okay. Anyway, Mr. Zhou will be scolded with me. It doesn't seem to be a loss. They're all men, but they don't choose me. I'm really looking forward to their faces slapping themselves. It will be very interesting. Zhou Yi brought her into the elevator and said with a smile, Sister Chu seems very confident. As far as I know, you didn't have any famous works before you left the entertainment industry. Chu Xiang smiled. Maybe it's because I've honed my acting skills in the past year at the Lin family. Mr. Zhou, I want to sign a top artist contract. I won't let the company down. The more time I spend with Sister Chu, the more expectations I have for Sister Chu. I hope you'll always be so interesting. Zhou Ye's eyes flashed with interest. He brought Chu Xiang to the reception room and called his secretary to prepare the contract. The contract was for top artists. It was signed once a year, and the benefits were split in half. The company was equipped with an elite team to tailor a development plan for Chu Xiang. Even her manager was a gold medal manager in Xingyao. He only had one best actor, Dong Shu, under him. Dong Shu was 45 years old. He had made 3 best actresses, 2 best actors, and 2 best singers popular. Now that he was a little older, he didn't want to work hard anymore. That was why he had retired with 1 best actor in Xingyao. Before meeting Chu Xiang, He went to the office to see Zhou Yi. He asked curiously, "Mr. Zhou thinks very highly of Chu Xiong. May I ask why?" Zhou Yi sat on a leather swivel chair and smiled. "Fun. If I hadn't seen her today, I would think that her request to the company is very strange. You've seen her information, right? It's average. But after seeing her in person, it's like a magical attraction. It's like a butterfly breaking out of a cocoon. I have a feeling that she will give me a big surprise." "Okay. I believe in Mr. Zhou's judgment. Then I'll let go of her." Chu Xiong's experience was very special. It was very challenging for her to become famous. Zhou Ye's words stirred up Dong Shu's long-dormant desire. Wasn't it a good idea to use Chu Xiong as a masterpiece? Chapter 30. Uncle Dong and Chu Xiong met and chatted for a while. They were very happy and directly signed the contract. Uncle Dong was a very active person. Seeing that it was still early, he asked Chu Xiong if she wanted to have a meeting to decide on a comeback plan. He was a bit worried that Chu Xiong would not be able to keep up with his rhythm after leaving the entertainment industry for a year. He explained, "My personality is to do everything in front of me. The faster the better. I might give you more work in the future. After all, this is the fastest way to become famous. If you are not used to it or have any ideas, you can tell me. I will consider your rhythm." Chu Xiong revealed an eager expression and smiled. "I like this rhythm. What I have the most right now is time. I can't wait to do something. Then let's have a meeting now." "Alright, I'll call someone over." Uncle Dong smiled and pressed the internal line to have his assistant call people. The people who came were the head of the company's operations department, the head of the public relations department, the voice music teacher, the dance teacher, the performance teacher, the body coach, and the nutritionist. Everyone sat around a table, and Uncle Dong sat at the head of the table. He first introduced everyone to each other, and then he chuckled. "Today's meeting is mainly to let everyone understand Chu Xiong, and to decide on the most suitable comeback plan. Everyone knows that Chu Xiong is very popular these 2 days. It is best not to miss this flow and immediately appear in front of the audience. You will gain a wave of passers-by fans and let Chu Xiong's former fans know that she is back. Then Chu Xiong, you will now show your strength and let the teachers evaluate you. We will know ourselves and our enemies." B. Chu Xiong Air stood up and stood in the open space, singing and dancing the original owner's most popular song. Chu Xiong performed very seriously. The people around the table also watched very seriously, but their expressions were not good. After the voice music teacher finished listening to her, he pointed at the book and muttered, "The voice is very good and the sense of music is also very good. It's just that you lack practice. Your breath and high notes are a bit lacking. I suggest that you don't sing a comeback right now. Everyone will compare you to Chu Xiong when she was at her peak, and it will be disappointing. But don't worry, this can be practiced." The dance teacher tactfully said, "Chu Xiong has a good foundation in dancing, but her muscles are a little stiff now, and her movements are not very precise. She needs time to get used to it. Before you finish practicing, I suggest that you don't perform the dance." Chu Xiong nodded and wiped the thin sweat on her forehead. "The two teachers are right. I also feel a little strained. My current physical fitness is not as good as it was a year ago. I still need to recuperate and practice more. I'm not afraid of hardships. The two teachers can make a more intense training plan for me. I hope to recover to my peak strength as soon as possible." "All right, no problem." The two teachers smiled and agreed. They were not afraid of not practicing, but they were afraid of not practicing. They appreciated Chu Xiong's attitude very much. Singing and dancing were the things that the original owner was best at. If she couldn't even pass in this area, then no one would look forward to anything else. The acting teacher gave Chu Xiong a test question that was commonly seen in practice classes. She had to act out the same thing with emotions. Chu Xiong thought about it while drinking water and then acted it out according to her understanding. She knew how to act, but it was a bit difficult for her to imagine something she had never done before. But she had lived for a long time and had seen many people, so she could accurately grasp the key points of their emotions. The acting teacher revealed a surprised expression. When she finished, he immediately applauded and said with pleasant surprise, "Very good, I think it's very good. You've grasped the essence, but you're still lacking in understanding the art of acting. Uncle Dong, I think that Chu Xiang will have no problem walking down the path of acting. If she learns from me for a while, she will definitely be able to take on the role of a female lead in a TV drama." Uncle Dong nodded with satisfaction. Then the fitness instructor had Chu Xiang do some basic training movements to judge the strength of Chu Xiang's muscles. He, the nutritionist and the bodybuilding teacher, gave some useful suggestions on the spot. Uncle Dong told them to go back and write a training plan. In the future, fitness and bodybuilding would become Chu Xiang's daily routine. Uncle Dong looked at the records in his notebook and said, "Chu Xiang's acting skills are indeed not bad. This is a highlight that can be contrasted with her bad acting skills. In the future, when the time is right, it can be used as a focal point to change her image. Then arrange more acting classes. Acting is much better than singing and dancing. But there's no movement in the filming. It will take at least half a year for the drama to air. It's best to push back the filming and do something else first." The operations manager had been observing Chu Xiang. Hearing this, he said, "Should we give Chu Xiang an independent and self-reliant persona? This is the first time I've seen Chu Xiang. I feel that Chu Xiang is different from the image I had in my mind. In the past, Chu Xiang was very popular. She could be considered a top idol in the entertainment circle. I also paid attention to her. I always felt that Chu Xiang was very simple. Bit real. She couldn't let go. When she looked at the camera, her eyes were a bit timid. Only when she sang and danced on stage would she emit a dazzling light. But overall she was still a bit weak. She was the cute and sweet kind. But today, when I saw Chu Xiang, I found that there was no trace of weakness in Chu Xiang. Her eyes were firm and confident. It was the feeling of a strong person who could do anything. I don't know if you guys have felt it, but I feel that the current Chu Xiang is very different from the past." Uncle Dong nodded. "I understand what you mean. I also feel the same. Chu Xiang, are you aware of the changes in you? Or was your image in the past set up by someone?" Chu Xiang lowered her eyes and played with a pen. She smiled and said, "In the past, the company put some labels on me. But those were my true nature. I'm really kind. I know how to be on guard and cautious. But deep down I'm easily deceived. I'm easily timid when facing many people and many things. But once a person experiences pain and death, all cowardice will disappear. All that's left is strength." She looked up at them and said, "I'm a strong Chu Xiang now. There's nothing I can't do. I like the entertainment circle very much. I treat it as a battlefield. In the end, I must stand at the top. I hope that you guys have the same expectations as me. In the future, there's only going forward. There's no going back. There's no going back." The few people who were originally just doing their jobs were shocked by her ruthlessness. They were also infected by her heroic spirit and felt their blood boil. "Chu Xiang, you're good in all aspects. You'll definitely be able to carve out a bloody path." The operations manager slammed the table and said excitedly, "I've got it. There's no need to put any labels on Chu Xiang. Just let Chu Xiang face the audience in the reality show with her truest appearance. The audience will definitely be attracted to her. When the time comes, there will naturally be labels on her. That's the most natural thing. There's no need to be afraid of breaking her image. Isn't there a live broadcast reality show now? Can be broadcasted immediately. With the current popularity of Chu Xiang's divorce, she can immediately make a comeback. Uncle Dong, what do you think?" Uncle Dong pondered and said, "Reality shows are a double-edged sword. It's easy to attract fans and also easy to attract haters. But from everyone's reaction today, I think that if we let Chu Xiang participate in the reality show, she'll have a higher chance of attracting fans. She can first accept 1 or 2 episodes of the live broadcast reality show as a flying guest to test the waters. If the results are good, She can then take on a high-quality reality show and seamlessly take over. As for the advertisements, we can choose ones that are popular among the citizens. They'll be broadcasted frequently on TV and can be printed on the product packaging. Currently, the most important thing for us is to expand our national popularity. It's best if our former fans can come back. The focus is still on developing new fans. The Public Relations Department will not reveal that Chu Xiong has signed with Starshine. Let the hot search of Chu Xiong and Xiao Zhou ferment for 2 more days. Wait for me to decide on the program, then we'll make a statement to clarify and promote the reality show. No problem. Uncle Dong, if you have any requests, feel free to let me know. I'll do my best to cooperate. The public relations manager nodded and looked at Chu Xiong. He asked seriously, Chu Xiong, can you honestly tell me if you have any scandals? Chu Xiong spread her hands. Don't worry about this. I don't have any scandals. The public relations manager was still worried. If you have any scandals, you must tell me. We need to deal with them first and prepare a response plan in advance. Chu Xiong smiled. Don't worry. I know the pros and cons. Since I've set the entertainment industry as my future development direction, I won't destroy my own future. The most important thing for a team is honesty and trust. I won't hide this from you. I'll tell you in advance. After all, I have quite a lot of haters. This battle won't be easy. The few of them smiled. Everyone worked together. This comeback will definitely be successful. Uncle Dong put away his notebook and smiled. Then that's all for today. I'll contact some jobs later and communicate with everyone. When the time comes, we'll have a meal together to discuss. It's my treat. Thank you in advance, Uncle Dong. The few of them smiled and left together. Uncle Dong smiled at Chu Xiong. Everyone is easy to get along with. There aren't many messy things in Starshine. In the future, when you're fighting outside, you can rest assured and leave the rear to the company. Don't worry. Although we've just met, I have high hopes for you. I hope you can stand at the top like you just did. I definitely will. Chu Xiong's smile was full of confidence. It was as if her words were a promise and she had the ability to do it. Uncle Dong was satisfied. That's good. Go back to the hotel and rest. I'll arrange a place for you. Do you want to rent your own place or live in the company's dormitory? The company's dormitory is a 1-bedroom apartment. You can live alone. There's no problem with your safety. But you'll meet other artists who live in the dormitory. Chu Xiong didn't care. I'll live in the dormitory. When I earn enough money, I'll buy a house. I hope I can start working as soon as possible. Okay. I've already asked someone to prepare a company car for you. I'll take you to see your driver and assistant. Ming Si will pick you up to the company for classes and some training. I'll inform you immediately when I have good news. Be ready at any time. B. Chu Xiong picked up her bag and followed Uncle Dong to his office. Her driver was called Yang Yong. He was a calm 30-years-old man. He was a retired soldier and could be a part-time bodyguard. Her assistant was called Tao Hui. She was 23 years old and was a lively girl. She knew when to advance and when to retreat. Chu Xiong was very satisfied with her basic team. Next, it was time to prepare for the camera. She sat in the back of the car and looked in the mirror. She said to Yang Yong, "Brother Yong, let's go to the medicine shop." Chapter 31. Yang Yong didn't like to talk, so he answered and turned to the navigation system. Tao asked curiously, "Sister Xiang, are you taking Chinese medicine? Do you have any dietary restrictions?" Chu Xiang flipped through the business magazine and said, "I don't have any dietary restrictions. I bought the herbs because I want to take a bath. I'm going to work soon, so I need to adjust my state." Tao quickly looked at her exposed skin and asked hesitantly, "Sister Xiang, where did you see the formula? Is it reliable? Do you want me to book you a full body care and go to a spa? I know a place that has good effects." "It's Guiling." Chu Xiang smiled. "I'll go there later. Don't worry, I've used this formula before. It's not a problem. Oh, okay. Sister Xiang, tell me what you need. I'll buy it for you so that you won't be photographed and written nonsense. Tao took out her phone and opened her notebook. Chu Xiang thought for a moment and shook her head. I'll go see it myself. I can't remember clearly. I'll know after seeing it. If it's okay, what else can they write? It's all harmless things. If they want to write, then write. Tao put away her phone and sighed. Sister Xiang, you're really popular. I think you'll be photographed and reported when you go shopping or buy groceries. If you have anything in the future, just ask me to do it. It's annoying to be watched all the time. Okay, I'll look for you often. Chu Xiang was used to having someone help her and was very satisfied with Tao. Tao saw that she was reading the magazine seriously. Although she was a little curious about why she was reading a business magazine, she didn't ask. She stopped talking and opened Weibo to see the trend of public opinion online. When she saw that the topic, "Men don't choose Chu Xiang," was trending, she couldn't help but glance at Chu Xiang. If she was like this, she would probably cry. She remembered that Chu Xiang also cried very sadly at the press conference announcing her withdrawal from the entertainment industry. She looked a little weak. She didn't expect that she could remain calm after being criticized by so many people. Tao then looked at Chu Xiang's Weibo. She hadn't logged in for a year. Her last Weibo post was a farewell to her fans. There were many negative comments under her Weibo, which made her angry. She planned to go back and have a good relationship with Chu Xiang and see if she needed her help to manage Weibo. After she came back, she should also manage these social media accounts well. The car drove to the medicine shop. Tao went in with Chu Xiang to buy medicine. Chu Xiang looked around, picked a few herbs, and smelled them carefully. She didn't know much about modern medicinal herbs. In her previous life, she hadn't come into contact with these either. However, when she was cultivating in her original world, she had done a lot of alchemy. There were some medicinal herbs whose medicinal properties were similar to those in the modern world. She just needed to look for them to confirm. Tao felt inexplicably uneasy. He didn't seem to know the formula well. Was it really okay to pick out the herbs just by smelling them? However, Chu Xiang had already rejected her suggestion and insisted on buying the herbs. Tao couldn't say anything more. She could only help to watch from the side. Chu Xiang wasn't satisfied with the quality of the herbs. After more than half an hour, she reluctantly picked out a few herbs. Some were for drinking, some were for soaking, and she also bought a pot for boiling the herbs. After paying the bill, Tao took the initiative to help her get the herbs. She carried the big bag to the car. Thinking of the price of these herbs, her heart ached. I hope these are really useful. It's almost worth a month's salary. Chu Xiang was amused by her painful expression. She pinched her face and comforted her. Don't feel bad. When I become famous, I'll give you a raise. Hey, I'm looking forward to Sister Xiang giving me a raise. Tao smiled and asked Yong Yong to drive. This time they went straight to the hotel. Chu Xiang treated them to a buffet in the hotel restaurant. It was an employee benefit. Tao happily took a lot of delicious food. She didn't need to lose weight. This meal fully showed her love for food. While laughing with Chu Xiang, she habitually browsed the internet on her phone. When she clicked on Weibo, she suddenly saw a big influencer's Weibo. It was a photo of them buying the herbs just now. The caption said that Chu Xiang was sick and accompanied by decoctions every day. Now, netizens were guessing what illness Chu Xiang had. Some even suspected that she was dumped because she was infertile. Tao said angrily, "These people really have nothing to do. What does Sister Xiang have to do with them? Even buying herbs makes them think so much. Why don't you become a screenwriter?" Chu Xiang tilted her head and looked at her phone. She continued to eat indifferently. What are you angry about? It's not like you'll lose a piece of meat. They can only say one thing on the internet. When they really come to me, they won't be able to say a word. Tao was stunned for a moment before sniggering. Sister Xiang, you're right. This kind of keyboard warrior's life is filled with Luther. Which serious person would be like this? Sister Xiang, you're really generous. If it were me, I would be furious. I'm used to it. Chu Xiong remembered her life when she was cultivating. So what if he said a few words? Being on the edge of life and death was the most terrible thing. Talking was always the lowest level. This kind of person wasn't worth her time. Brother Yong didn't say much during the meal. After eating, he and Tao left. Chu Xiong went back to her room and took a shower first. Then she turned on the TV and played the financial news. While listening, she adjusted the amount of herbs and began to boil the medicine. The first pot was ruined. The effect of the medicine was wrong and the heat was wrong. Chu Xiong poured it out and boiled it again. This time the heat and the amount were just right. She let it cool a little and drank it in one gulp. Then, she went to take a medicinal bath and applied an ointment to her face. If someone saw her at this time, they would probably be shocked. Her face and neck were painted blue and green. Below her neck, she was soaked in water. All kinds of herbs were floating on the water. At first glance, it was quite scary. However, Chu Xiong mobilized a little bit of Reiki in her body and tried to absorb the effect of the medicine. She could clearly feel that her skin was being nourished. The beauty formula she made was successful. The next day, Chu Xiong woke up refreshed. Her skin condition was better and was no longer so dark. She went to the company for classes and training. Tao and Brother Yong helped her move. A few artists happened to gather in the apartment next door. When they heard the noise, they came out to ask. They were surprised to learn that Chu Xiong had moved in. They went back to the room. It seems that Chu Xiong really left the family with nothing. She actually lived in the same dormitory with us. I can't imagine. That's Chu Xiong. A year ago she was a top celebrity. Now she's my neighbor. Hey, can Chu Xiong still be popular after she comes back? She had so many fans in the past. They all thought that she was materialistic and lost her fans because of her flash marriage. Now that she's divorced, she's still so down and out. Will her fans come back because of old feelings? I don't think so. How many true fans can there be? It's been a year. Many people have become fans of someone else. How can they come back? If she really had fans, would she not be mocked so miserably now? I heard that Lin Jiawei even banned her. Otherwise, why would she come to our company? Hey, I still envy her. After all, she was popular before. We don't even know what it's like to be popular. The artists had forgotten what they were talking about before. The topic had all turned to Chu Xiong. This was her current popularity. She could become the focus of attention even before she showed up. People couldn't help but talk about her. However, her popularity wouldn't always be so high. After her divorce, people wouldn't pay so much attention to her. It wouldn't be easy for her to become a hot topic again. If she didn't do anything, it would be easy for her to lose popularity. Therefore, Uncle Dong had been contacting Chu Xiong from morning to night. He had a wide network. Many people gave him face. He really found two very good live broadcast reality shows. One of them was a live broadcast of Iran doing tasks in different places. Through doing some difficult and interesting tasks, she would take the audience to see the scenery or city characteristics. She would also recommend some delicious food. The program was very popular. This program was called Banana Outdoor Tasks. The resident MCs were 5 male stars. There were actors, hosts, singers, and guests would fly in every episode to join them. Sometimes it was 1 or 2 people. Sometimes it was a large group of people. The number of guests was different because of the different tasks. Uncle Dong and the program team discussed letting Chu Xiong participate in this episode. In the form of each resident MC inviting a friend. There was an MC who had filmed a TV series with Chu Xiong. They acted as master and disciple. It was very appropriate to invite Chu Xiong. When the time came, the 10 of them would split up to do tasks. Whether Chu Xiong would be conspicuous or ignored would depend on her. It just so happened that Chu Xiong was very popular now. Her image was actually not that bad. There was no evidence on the internet. The program team decided to use Chu Xiong. Of course, the most important thing was that this program was a TV program. Lin Joey's hands couldn't reach that far. Another program was a live broadcast of the daily life of the 4 resident MCs. It was called Artists Are Bears. Every Saturday, the 4 MCs would live broadcast for 2 hours. During these 2 hours, they had to find something to do to make the program exciting. Every episode, they would invite their friends to join them. It didn't matter how many friends they had. The most important thing was that they often did some very bad things to make the program interesting. There was an MC in this program who was an artist of Xingyao. Let him invite Chu Xiong and another artist of Xingyao. At that time, the 3 of them could do whatever they wanted and it wouldn't be awkward. If Chu Xiong could have some points that the audience liked, it would be natural and attract fans in this program. There was no deliberate element at all. Uncle Dong introduced these 2 programs to Chu Xiong and asked her what she thought. Chu Xiong nodded and said with a smile, "It's very interesting. Just these 2. I'm not afraid of hardships. When will it be filmed?" Artists Are Bears will be filmed tomorrow. The candidates have been decided before. Now you are one more. You can be invited. It won't affect anything. Outdoor task is next weekend about 10 days later. You can strengthen your physical fitness during these few days. Okay, then let's settle these 2. Uncle Dong, send the things I need to pay attention to my email. I'll prepare well. If there's nothing else, I'll go back early today and watch the previous Artists Are Bears, to understand the style of the program. B. Uncle Dong waited for Chu Xiong to leave before he laughed and shook his head. He had always been the one who gave orders to the artists. When it came to Chu Xiong, he felt that Chu Xiong was like his boss. Sometimes he really thought that he saw Director Zhou. Uncle Dong and the program team finally made the decision. They went to Zhou Yi to report Chu Xiong's comeback plan. Zhou Yi had always trusted his subordinates and would not interfere with their work. When he knew, he nodded to show that he understood. However, after he saw the 2 programs that Chu Xiong was going to participate in, he said with interest, "Is it okay for her to go to these 2? Aren't these 2 programs famous for making fun of people?" Chapter 32. The 2 shows that Chu Xiong was going to be on were indeed famous for their pranks. As soon as Chu Xiong arrived at the filming location, she was told that she was going to shoot a challenge. The MC who invited her was a 50-year-old actor, Dong Boheo. He had always been single and had strong life skills, but he always had strange ideas. He was still childish and liked to do all kinds of things. For example, he was exhausted from challenging the Guinness World Record, eating all over the street until he couldn't move, building a 2-meter-tall transformer with waste products, and cutting 2 sacks of onions with his friends to pickle them. When the program crew interviewed his mother said helplessly and proudly, "I can't control this brat anymore. He's 50 years old anyway, so he can do whatever he wants. Fortunately, he's doing well." Dong Boheo indeed did well every time he tried a new trick, and it was especially cute and attracted countless fans. Even though he was 50 years old, there were still many people watching his live show and he had many fans. This time he invited Liao Zhe, who was his junior brother from the same company. The 2 of them were originally going to challenge bungee jumping and diving, but after Chu Xiong was added, the program crew proposed to change bungee jumping into rock climbing and steel rope walking. Bungee jumping was scary enough, but sometimes when you closed your eyes, your heart would jump. For rock climbing, the program crew deliberately chose a misleading route, which was to climb the cliff. If you went wrong, you would have to go back and do it again. It was a special test of Rao Zhe's psychological strength. Walking on a steel rope, you had to walk from one mountain to another at a height of 600 meters. When the wind blew, you would feel like you were falling into a bottomless abyss. It was too cruel and torturous. Liao Zhe was afraid of heights and had already planned to not bungee jump until his legs went soft. Now that he had changed to steel rope, he cursed on the spot and hugged Dong Boheo, shouting that he had been tricked. The program crew asked Chu Xiong, "Can you do it? There are no problems with the safety measures. If you can't do it, you can give up. But try to make it look good or else it won't be interesting." Chu Xiang looked at the steel rope that was at most 200 meters long and the steel rings used for climbing on the cliff. Wasn't it simple? She calmly nodded at the production crew. I have no problem with that. We can start filming at any time. The production crew reminded her worriedly. If you're scared, just give up when it's almost time. Don't yell or scream. This is a live broadcast. It'll look bad if it's shown. Chu Xiang glanced at him. I'm not afraid. Seeing that Chu Xiang's expression didn't change, the man was a little confused and left. Don't girls usually panic when they see this kind of thing? They had changed the challenge to make the show more effective. Why was Chu Xiang's reaction so different from what they had imagined? Dong Boheo was already warming up. He said to Chu Xiang and Liao Zhe, "You two work hard. Don't lose to me later or people will laugh at you. I'll treat you to a meal after the shoot." Liao Zhe's face was pale and his eyes were empty. Eating a Manchu Han imperial feast can't make up for my love. I shouldn't have come to this show. Why didn't I think that you would cheat me? Chu Xiang smiled. Brother Liao, wait behind me. I will give you some courage. Liao Zhe's neck was stiff, and he slowly turned to look at Dong Xuebing. Why are the girls nowadays not afraid? As they were talking, the live broadcast started. The director gave them a hand signal and started filming quietly. The production crew will not announce the next episode's guest. That's why when the live broadcast started, the audience was stunned when they saw Chu Xiang. Who is that? What is she doing? Why is she here? Everyone had the same question in their minds, and the bullet screen exploded. Chu Xianglai is Brother Dong's show. What? Damn. Why is she here? Look at this show. Isn't this a challenge? Don't ruin Brother Dong's show. That is really Chu Xiang. Didn't she fail to commit suicide and is suffering from illness? Is she going to commit suicide on this show? Well, is the production crew crazy about viewership? How dare they get Chu Xianglai to embarrass Brother Dong? How can they bring such a weak and sickly woman for extreme sports? Didn't Chu Xiang say she is going to make a comeback? Is she going to make a comeback on Brother Dong's show? Yen #%yen at #at. I want to scold her. She had ruined this show. We want to watch Brother Dong do extreme sports. Who wants to watch this wimpy woman? She will surely cry. She will still scream and refuse to go up. She will also cry and ask Brother Dong to comfort her. Liao Zhe is also asking two men to coax a princess. She is not a princess. She is an abandoned woman. This production crew is a bunch of idiots. The bullet screen was filled with comments, and Dong Xuebing's assistant asked the director softly, "Director, are you sure this will work? The audience is scolding us." The director waved his hand. This is also a highlight. Liao Zhe is enough for this episode, and Chu Xiang is an additional guest. If her performance is too bad, we can switch the camera to Liao Zhe and Dong Boheo. It will not affect the show. Tao hugged Chu Xiang's handbag and squatted by the side. She looks at Chu Xiang worriedly. Sister Xiang was still a rich man's wife a few years ago. How can she do extreme sports? Don't fall again. How did Uncle Dong communicate with the production crew? This is too much. Tao secretly sent a WeChat message to Uncle Dong to complain. She told Uncle Dong about how the program crew wanted Chu Xiang to make a fool of herself. Uncle Dong did not expect this show to be so exciting. It is not easy for him to get Chu Xiang to appear on this show. If she wants to be popular, she will have to endure hardships. Uncle Dong can only ask Tao to take care of Chu Xiang and turn on the live broadcast to watch Chu Xiang. Chu Xiang does not know what the audience is thinking and she does not care. After the recording started, Dong Xuebing warmed up her wrists and ankles, stretching her muscles and bones. At the same time, she is observing the terrain and simulating the best route to climb. Chu Xiang is serious about her acting. Her acting had improved, and I was fooled by her. She is still warming up. Don't be too scared to take a single step. It will be so embarrassing. Stop arguing. Watch Brother Dong and Liao Zhe. Don't bother about them. Anyway, she is here to disrupt Brother Dong's live broadcast, and I will turn against her. Count me in to hate Chu Xiang. She is too ignorant. She is on the hot searches, and I can even see her on the live broadcast. So annoying. Dong Boheo finished warming up and said to them, I will go first. I will show you all what I can do. Chu Xiang smiled. Okay. Brother Dong, all the best. See you at the finish line. Liao Zhe's face is pale, and he is not in the mood to talk. Dong Boheo put on his goggles and gave them an okay sign. He then followed the staff to the starting point. Chu Xiang looks at Liao Zhe and asked, Are you really scared? Why don't you give up and watch from below? Don't force yourself if you don't want to do it. Liao Zhe shook his head. It's fine. Why don't you go first? I might be slow and I will be last. I will go first. Chu Xiang ran to the cliff and asked the staff to check her equipment. Is Chu Xiang crazy? Liao Zhe is participating in this show. How can he watch from the side? If you don't want to do it, don't force yourself. I will see how long she can pretend. Actually, Chu Xiang is just worried about Liao Zhe. Is she crazy? She doesn't seem to be scared. Maybe she is brave. Why are you all scolding her? Haha. 1 year ago she was playing a hanging wire game in this show. She was so scared that she screamed thank you. No one is scolding her maliciously. They just hate her for appearing on this show. I bet Chu Xiang will give up in 5 minutes. I bet 3 points. There was a portion of the audience who hated Chu Xiang. The more comments they sent, the more they started to get into a rhythm. After all, Chu Xiang has been slandered by so many haters for more than a year. The passers-by don't know whether it is true or not, so they have a bad impression of her. When they talk about her, they think of her as a gold digger who relied on traffic to become famous. All the bullet comments are not optimistic about Chu Xiang. When the director saw this, he asked the staff to check Chu Xiang. He whispered, The effect will come out in 6 minutes. Don't cry or scream. Be strong. Chu Xiang does not say anything about the show's distrust. When he lets go, she steps up the cliff. Her physical fitness is very average now, but wherever she gathers a little spiritual energy, she will have extra strength. She can cheat. It is normal for her to jump up and run on walls. Who would be nervous and scared when eating? At most, she will finish a little worse than before. It is impossible for her to fail. Chu Xiang looks calm. Her hands and feet move nimbly on the cliff. Every time she takes a step, she has to unbuckle the buckle on her waist and hang it on another buckle. At this time, she is relying on her own strength and balance to hold on to the steel buckle. But she is very fast and does not hesitate at all. Dong Boheo missed 2 buckles and unbuckled half of the buckle. She did not have any problems and climbed all the way up the cliff. Who was the one who scared Chu Xiang to tears just now? Why do I feel that she is a professional? Professional is a little too exaggerated. This is very amateur. But compared to the other 2, her performance is the best. This is just the beginning, okay? Look how far Brother Dong has gone. I think Chu Xiang will panic when she takes the wrong path. Also, it requires a lot of stamina to climb up. Her arms and legs can't take it anymore. She is still better than Liao Zhe. Liao Zhe is still hesitating at the starting point. His face is pale. Chu Xiang caught up from behind. Not only did she not take the wrong path, she even took advantage of the moment when Dong Boheo took the wrong path to quickly overtake him and walk to the front. She stopped halfway and wiped her sweat. She leaned back and shouted, Brother Dong, the path on the left is not right. 5 steps to your right, 10 steps to your left, 5 steps to your right and 5 steps to your left. Then walk towards me. Dong Xuebing nodded and said, Brother Dong, the path on the left is not right. Dong Boheo looks at Dong Boheo. He had listened to her and changed his path. He gave Chu Xiang a thumbs up. He was panting and could not say anything. He could only look at the camera on his head. Chu Xiang is out of my expectations. I thought I will be laughing at Liao Zhe when we reach the finish line. But Chu Xiang beat me to it. Are all the girls nowadays so strong? Luckily I don't have a wife. If not, I will be under her control. Ha ha ha. Brother Dong was overtaken by a girl. Chu Xiang, don't give up. Don't let Brother Dong laugh at Liao Zhe. Damn. Liao Zhe is not up yet. He is too afraid of heights. The production team is so bad. I feel sorry for Liao Zhe. Am I the only one who thinks Chu Xiang is very cool? She is so daring. I want a sister like her to bring me out to play. Chapter 33. Chu Xiang successfully reached the finish line and was the first to do so. The staff asked her how she felt. Chu Xiang took a sip of water and smiled. It's fun. It's just a short zero. Short zero, short. Short. Her what? The wind was too loud, I didn't hear it clearly. Ha ha ha, she really reached the finish line. Where are the people who bet that she would give up in a few minutes? Did they get slapped in the face? If it were me, I would be scared to death. Chu Xiang is really not afraid. Look at her hands, they are not shaking at all. She even dared to lean back just now. I was scared to death. If I were there, I would definitely be like Liao Zhe. Haha, don't mention Liao Zhe. He is paralyzed like a dead dog and has completely given up. His fear of heights is really understandable. Chu Xiang will ruin the show if she doesn't go. She is too weak and doesn't know her place. Liao Zhe is pardonable if he doesn't go. Is there a need to have such strong double standards? Is there such a big prejudice? I don't know if those people who turned anti-me are still anti-me. Anyway, I feel that Chu Xiang is much better than I thought. Why did I feel that she was not good before? Assistant Gao Chao showed the director the comments. Director, I didn't expect Chu Xiang to be so good. She has become the main attraction of this episode and the number of viewers is increasing. The director nodded with satisfaction. It's better than expected. Later, give Chu Xiang more screen time and less for Liao Zhe. Uncle Dong was also surprised by Chu Xiang's performance. He pressed the internal line of the public relations department and said, "Release the prepared statement and promote Chu Xiang's live broadcast." Immediately. The public relations department had already prepared and was just waiting for Uncle Dong to find the best time. Xing Yao's official Weibo released an official statement to clarify that the person who had dinner with Chu Xiang was the president of Xing Yao, and that the two were only talking about signing a contract. They also said that Chu Xiang had officially made a comeback and was participating in the live broadcast of Xiong 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 Xiong. The official Weibo of artist Xiong 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 was the first to forward it, and then dozens of big Vs who received red packets from Xing Yao's public relations department forwarded it one after another. All the major entertainment media saw that Lian Ran also wanted to forward it. When Uncle Dong saw Chu Xiang's performance on the show, he directly asked someone to buy a trending topic: Chu Xiang's rock climbing comeback in Celebrity Bear. Originally, when these netizens saw that Chu Xiang was on the hot search list, they didn't have a good impression of her and didn't want to see Chu Xiang anymore. However, when this hot search came out, it immediately aroused everyone's curiosity. What the hell was a rock climbing comeback? Chu Xiang looks so cute and sweet. Did she go rock climbing? Many people had seen Celebrity Don't Bear before. It was a funny show that would definitely not make the guests feel comfortable during the live broadcast. Many people turned on the live broadcast to see what Chu Xiang was doing on the show. The moment they saw it, they were attracted. It was such a dangerous rock climb. Chu Xiang had already reached the finish line. Why were there still Chu Xiang's handsome Chu Xiang-a exploding in the bullet screen? This contrast made the netizens stay to watch the show. Chu Xiang's haters also rushed to the battlefield at the first moment and began to curse without even watching. A group of Chu Xiang's fans also watched quietly. They didn't dare to fight with the haters. Occasionally they would say, "I miss Xiang Xiang so much. Xiang Xiang has finally made a comeback." The behavior of the haters aroused the disgust of many viewers. Some of them had a bad temper and quarreled with the haters. Some of them were annoyed and turned off the bullet screen. Some of them sympathized with Chu Xiang because of the haters. However, everyone was watching the show and it was the real number of views. Chu Xiang rested for a while. When Dong Boheo reached the finish line, she gave Dong Boheo a towel and mineral water. "Brother Dong, do you want to continue?" Dong Boheo panted and nodded. "Yes. Do you think I'm old?" He waved his hand. "I can do anything with you." Chu Xiang held back her laughter. "That's right. You are old but your heart is young. Your imagination is invincible." Your imagination is invincible. That's right. Brother Dong loves Ma Xingkong's imagination the most. Chu Xiang's face is ruined. She had become an abandoned woman. She is not shy when talking to men and is so proactive. She is indeed different. Enough with the sarcastic haters. If you don't want to watch, get lost. Chu Xiang exploding. I want to see Chu Xiang walk the tightrope. Haha. Don't fall to your death. In the program, Chu Xiang and Dong Boheo had reached the edge of the tightrope. As the host, Dong Boheo must set an example and go up first. But before he could catch his breath, he was so tired that his face was red, and his fans were worried about whether he could make it. I feel sorry for Brother Dong. Brother Dong, don't go up. It's not easy for you to climb all the way here. Brother Dong, promise me. Let's just imagine. Don't do it again. The program crew came out to take a beating. Even if Brother Dong is old, he is still old. Chu Xiang has been checking the equipment and looking at Dong Boheo. After checking, she stepped forward. This seems to be more fun. Brother Dong, let me go first. I can't wait. Dong Boheo confirmed. Do you really dare? It's a bottomless abyss below. If you go back halfway, you have to walk back. The program crew won't care. Chu Xiang raised her eyebrows and said, Brother Dong, don't worry. I'm so dark. Even the abyss doesn't want me. Let's go. Chu Xiang walked up the tightrope without hesitation. Only a horizontal rod hanging in front of her could help her balance. But if she really fell, she would be hanging in the abyss like hanging on a wire. Or she would have to hold the rod with both hands to test her arm strength. There is nothing stable. Chu Xiang gathered a little spiritual energy in her feet and walked very steadily. A gust of wind blew over, and the tightrope shook. All the audience held their breaths and even forgot to send the bullet screen comments. Chu Xiang paused and continued walking. There was even a smile at the corner of her mouth. Damn, I've lost. I'm a man, but I don't dare. Chu Xiang can do it. Chu Xiang is so warm. Seeing that Brother Dong hasn't recovered, she deliberately can't wait so that Brother Dong can rest for a while. I've become a fan. What kind of miserable devastation did Chu Xiang go through in the past year? Why did she change so much? She's revealing her true nature, right? How weak and innocent can someone from the orphanage be? She used to set up a persona. Now that she knows she can't do it, she set up a new persona. Can't you see? Are you crazy? Did the orphanage offend you? No matter what persona Chu Xiang set up, it's not as vicious as you. Is it easy to be a keyboard warrior? Brainless idiot. It was really the first time Chu Xiang had experienced an extreme event. She felt that it was quite fun. Although she didn't have any cultivation now, the feeling of walking in the air brought back many beautiful memories. She couldn't help but smile. However, the tightrope was so short that it took her only a few minutes to walk to the end and back again. She was a little unhappy. Chu Xiang looked back at the tightrope again. Dong Boheo had already walked up. She could only sit aside and wait. Her eyes were full of regret. If I'm not wrong, does Chu Xiang want to walk it again? Maybe she wants to walk it a few more times. So what if she knows how to climb a tightrope? She's still a gold digger. Instead of being a good idol, she married into a rich family. Now she's been reduced to working hard. Is it because she can't sing and dance anymore? She deserves it. Get lost, get lost, get lost. Chu Xiang has 8 lifetimes of bad luck to be associated with you haters. Chu Xiang, I'm your fan. Work hard and slap them in the face. Liao Zhe was looking up from the ground with a pair of binoculars. His face was pale. Chu Xiang and Brother Dong are ruthless people. Why can't they live well? Why are they risking their lives to film this show? Are you going up to meet them? We can take the cable car. Well. I will never take the cable car for the rest of my life. I will wait for them on the ground. That's right. I am afraid of heights. Stop persuading me. If you continue to persuade me, I will bite you. Oh, give me a walkie-talkie. Liao Zhe took the walkie-talkie and looked at it. Let Chu Xiang listen. Chu Xiang, can you come down first? It's boring for me to walk alone. Brother Dong is the one who suggested this idea. Let him walk slowly. Let's go to the diving spot first. There are only 2 episodes of the show, and if Dong Boheo wants to appear on the stage more, he must make it more interesting. Chu Xiang stood up. All right, we will swim a few laps in the water first. Brother Dong can accompany the birds in the sky. Let's see if he will do this again. Wait for me. I will be down soon. Liao Zhe switched off the walkie-talkie and said to the camera, How soon can you be? I will get something to eat first. It is so high up, and even if she takes the cable car, she will need to ride for at least half an hour. Why should she go up? Chu Xiang pointed to the bungee jumping platform not far away and said to the staff, I will go down from there. It will be more convenient for me to look for Brother Liao on the boat. Let's go. The staff did not react in time and saw Dong Xuebing leaving. 2 of them followed her. Originally, the bungee jumping was prepared in advance, but because Chu Xiang had changed the event, they didn't do it. Now that Chu Xiang was there, they could start immediately. There was already a speedboat on the lake below. The director quickly said, Get 2 people to film in the air. Ask the cameraman to film Chu Xiang's expression. Ask Chu Xiang if she wants to shout out her heartfelt words. Chu Xiang had tied the rope to her body and heard the staff's question. She knew this will be a highlight. Recently, everyone is paying attention to her divorce. Then let's create some hype. Dong Xuebing held a large banana leaf in each hand and fell forward when the staff was ready. Scumbag, get out of here. Old Witch Lin will never see you again. Chu Xiang's resounding voice reverberated throughout the valley, and everyone heard her words clearly. She held the banana leaf in both hands like a pair of wings, and with indomitable courage, she swooped down into the valley, then bounced up and soared into the sky. All of Chu Xiang's postures were beautiful and attracted everyone's attention. Those 2 sentences of hers seemed to have brought everyone into her sorrow, yet they also carried with them a boundless sense of freedom. It was as if she had abandoned countless troubles with this jump, and no longer had any entanglements with the Lin family. This was her first stop in her comeback, and also her rebirth. I'm Chu Xiang's fan now. I don't care what she was like in the past. I like the Chu Xiang now. My heart aches. I'm crying. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm crying. How deep does scumbag Lin Sansheng think Chu Xiang? How humiliating is it to be a substitute? She must have been tortured by old Witch Lin. Otherwise, why would she be so unhappy in those photos? My heart aches. I'm her fan. Tell those scumbags to get lost. Xiang, you can do it. You have us. We've never left. We'll always be your fans. One day Chu Xiang fan. Forever Chu Xiang fan. Liao Zhe heard Chu Xiang shout and looked up. His eyes widened and he spat out a mouthful of water. I only knew that she was going to come down soon, but I didn't expect her to come down like this. Quick, support me. My legs are weak. Chapter 34. Chu Xiang swung a few times in the valley, and the staff lowered the rope for Chu Xiang to land on the speedboat. When the staff asked her how she felt, Chu Xiang gave a thumbs up to the camera and smiled. I feel great. Is it time for diving next? Let's go and look for Brother Liao. The speedboat turned around and sped toward the shore. Chu Xiang took off her helmet, and her shoulder-length curly hair was blown up by the wind, fluttering behind her head. Many people had taken screenshots of Dong Xuebing smiling happily. This is what everyone wants to be like when they are troubled. When Chu Xiang reached the shore, Liao Zhe took the initiative to pull her up. He looked at her with eyes full of admiration and exclaimed, "Sister Xiang, you're too awesome." "Mine, it's really too awesome." Chu Xiang replied, "Brother Liao, I am better than you." Liao Zhe shook his head. "I must call you Sister Xiang. You had opened my eyes today. At first I was thinking that the production team must be crazy to ask me to do the aerial photography. But I realized you are super manly. You have to accept me calling you Sister Xiang." Chu Xiang did not mind. She covered her forehead with her hand and looked at Dong Boheo. "Brother Dong is only halfway there. Let's go to the diving spot first. Let's eat something to replenish our energy. I am tired." Liao Zhe nodded. "Let's leave this place. I will never come here again. I am also tired. Although I did not do anything and you might not believe me, I am so tired." Chu Xiang smiled and walked to the car. She asked the staff for a pen and paper. "Let's write a note to Brother Dong. Tell him we are leaving first." "What should we write?" Chu Xiang wrote on the paper. "Brother Dong, you have worked hard. Sometimes it is easier to imagine. We will wait for you at the diving spot." She even drew a heart at the end of the note. Liao Zhe laughed. "This is good. This is good. Piss him off. Who told him to mess with us? Let him tire himself out like an old cow. Let's go to the beach and enjoy the sunshine. Let's go." Chu Xiang pasted the note in the most conspicuous place, put on her sunglasses and got into the car. The diving spot was not far away. The two of them ordered a bunch of food and drinks in the car. Liao Zhe's expression finally returned to normal. He felt that the two of them were really going to enjoy the beach. "Sorry, I laughed. This is the first time Brother Dong deserves sympathy since he started streaming." Brother Dong had pranked his guests so many times, and he had finally met his match. He thought he was the king, but he didn't expect to become bronze in front of Chu Xiang. Chu Xiang is so funny. Does she have any other variety shows? Think about it. This is Xiang Xiang's first time participating in a variety show. Thank you for liking her. Heart. Chu Xiang has cleared her name after bungee jumping. You guys are really easy to coax. Chu Xiang's fans are all brainless. Have you forgotten how she abandoned you for money? What's the use of supporting her? She might quit one day. Don't cry then. A Xiang fan for a day, a Xiang fan for life. What was there to clear Xiang Xiang's name? She had never been a hater. So what if she got married? So what if she quit the entertainment industry? Did she sell herself to you? Can't she choose her own life? A Xiang fan for a day, a Xiang fan for life. All of you haters are just jealous. You all don't have Xiang Xiang's looks, popularity and experience. You all have nothing. You all can only be a keyboard warrior online. Trash. A Xiang fan for a day, a Xiang fan for life. Xiang Xiang's jump gave us the courage to fight the haters. Even if we are the only Xiang fan left, we must fight the haters. At this point in the program, the haters could no longer bring up the pace. Chu Xiang's impact was too strong, making it impossible for people to hate her along with the haters. Instead, because of the haters and Mo Min's strange scolding, people began to wonder what Chu Xiang had done to anger people. Even if she had married into a rich family for money, she had not done anything wrong. So many of her fans left her and came back to criticize her. She can be so emotional. What about these haters? They were just scolding for the sake of scolding. They vented so much malice on Chu Xiang. They were simply a bunch of idiots. When things reach an extreme, they can only move in the opposite direction. The haters had been scolding Chu Xiang for so long, but no one spoke up for Chu Xiang. Now that Chu Xiang had made a comeback, she appeared in front of everyone with such a strong contrast. Everyone's first thought was that she had been scolded too unjustly. At this moment, He Zi came to make his presence known. Everyone's disgust towards Hei Zi turned into sympathy and fondness for Chu Xiong. There were many who spoke up for Chu Xiong, and it was unknown how many people had become her fans. Chu Xiong and Liao Zhe went to the beach. They lay on the deck chairs under the sun umbrella and ate ripple cakes, enjoying the cool sea breeze. The director used the storyboard to broadcast the scene of them and Dong Boheo at the same time. Dong Boheo finally finished walking the tightrope and collapsed on the ground, panting heavily. His face was red and sweating profusely. He formed a strong contrast with Chu Xiong and the others. The bullet screen was full of ha 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 and was overjoyed. When Dong Boheo took the cable car down the mountain and saw the note, Chu Xiong and the others had already eaten their fill and changed into diving suits. Although the skin of the original owner wasn't tight enough, it was still protruding in the right places. After wearing the tight diving suit, the scene of her swimming in the water was especially beautiful. Liao Zhe held the coach's hand while diving. His posture was stiff and his heart was heavy, but in the end he succeeded. He turned around to look at Chu Xiong, but found that Chu Xiong was like a mermaid. She swam freely in the water and even reached out to touch the colorful fish. She was many times better than him. Several cameras in the water perfectly recorded these scenes and broadcasted them. Everyone saw Chu Xiong's beautiful figure. She looked like she had returned home in the water. She swam around and played with the fish from time to time. She even passed through a large coral cave. She was like a fish in water. I'm really a fan of Chu Xiong. This scene is too beautiful. Isn't she like a mermaid? I really hope that she's not wearing black tights but mermaid scales. Chu Xiong is already very beautiful. I can't help but admire her looks. It's just that she hasn't taken care of herself in the past year. I feel that she looks a little old in the close-up view of her bungee jumping. Her skin doesn't look very good. How can the young mistress of a rich family not take care of herself? I think she's being tortured. Scumbag Lin Mo San, that old witch, come out and take a beating. By the way, what kind of businesses does Scumbag Lin own? I've decided to boycott Lin's products and support Chu Xiong. This is good. Scumbag Lin is already disgusting. I'll boycott Lin's products too. Count me in. Boycott Lin's. The haters were still criticizing but no one cared. Now, Chu Xiong's fans and passers-by were talking about her. Some people were even listening to her songs while watching the live broadcast. After Chu Xiong swam 3 or 4 laps, Dong Boheo finally arrived. He swam 2 laps with Liao Zhe and then came out of the water with one hand holding Liao Zhe and the other holding Chu Xiong. They waved at the camera together. Dong Boheo laughed loudly. We did it. Today's challenge was a success. There's nothing we can't do. Liao Zhe sneakily pushed Dong Boheo into the water and shouted, I will never come back to this show again. Brother Dong, compensate me for my emotional distress. Chu Xiong did not say anything. She only smiled at the camera and dived into the water again. This time, the live broadcast ended with Dong Boheo and Liao Zhe fighting and Chu Xiong swimming around them. When the video stopped, everyone thought of 3 words. Life is peaceful. The 3 of them were overjoyed, and the audience who were watching the 3 of them were also overjoyed. Brother Dong's fans, who were angry at the start, came out to apologize. I should not be biased against Sister Xiong. I did not expect her to be so good. She also got along well with Brother Dong. I am so stupid. I did not expect the haters to make me look at Sister Xiong differently. Today I am Sister Xiong's fan. I hope Sister Xiong will come back to Brother Dong's show again. I am the one who bet on Sister Xiong to give up in 3 minutes. Don't look at Sister Xiong. Now I only want to know. Oh nice. Thank you for liking Xiong Xiong. I'm so happy that everyone likes Xiong Xiong. I'm not lying to you. I am really crying. This year, Xiong Xiong has been through a lot. My heart aches for her. Xiong Xiong, I love you. We Xiong Xiong fans will always be by your side. All the best. This live broadcast was a great success for Chu Xianglai. The program team was also very surprised. They were already thinking of inviting Chu Xiang to participate in the show again. Also, the people who were face to face with Chu Xiang could feel the magic in her. It was the magic that made people involuntarily chase after her. The director of the program felt that Chu Xiang was very likely to become popular again, and the popularity would not be any worse than a year ago. At that time, as the start of Chu Xiang's comeback, the number of views of Celebrity Xiong Xiong would definitely reach a peak. Today, Xingyao bought the hot search and brought their show up. This was a big surprise. The entire program team's attitude towards Chu Xiang was much better. Everyone laughed and laughed along the way. It was very lively. Dong Boheo treated Chu Xiang and Liao Zhe to a seafood feast. Although Chu Xiang was working out, she did not control herself at all in this kind of situation. She directly helped them to peel prawns and crabs. She ate a lot, and the shells in front of her were piled up into a mountain. Her way of not rejecting and not making people feel awkward suddenly shortened the distance between the three of them. Moreover, they were artists from the same company. After chatting for a while, they called each other senior brother and junior sister and even exchanged contact information. Dong Boheo smiled at Chu Xiang. I think that if you come to my show, I can save some energy. Why don't you come again next time? Chu Xiang gladly agreed. Of course it's good that I can come. I watched a lot of Brother Dong's live broadcasts yesterday. So interesting. Many people have thought about what you do, but no one will really do it. No wonder so many people like to watch it. That's great. I'll invite you when the time comes. Don't refuse. Brother Dong, don't worry. I'll accompany you to outer space. Liao Zhe shook his head while eating. Junior sister, you're still too young. This old man will definitely trick you. Just wait and see. Dong Boheo put his arm around his neck and laughed. He'll trick you too. Don't even think about running away. When Chu Xiang returned to the apartment, she was so tired that she did not even want to move her fingers. She collapsed in the bathtub and soaked in the medicinal bath while listening to the voice message sent by Uncle Dong. The effect of today's live broadcast is very good. I'll contact a variety show with a resident MC for you. You should post a post on Weibo so that your fans can have a place to vent their feelings. It was Chu Xiang's first time posting on Weibo. She found the photo of her smiling carefreely on the speedboat and posted it with a caption. Babies, I'm back. I'll always be here. That you're tuning in to the Whispers of Romance YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.